What is the name of that movie?
Do we get some hints?
Yeah, that's not enough of...
It's a Peter Sellers movie about a hospital. And I believe...
Hello.
George C. Scott is in it as well.
Okay.
I don't remember that. Martin's on his way. He's parking, so it'll take a while.
But where's Brett?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I gotta get going now. I'm here. But thank you for the good news. All right, bye.
Why did you just leave?
It's booting.
Oh, okay. So the stream has started, but you're not hooked up to it yet.
That's correct.
Oh, you have a ball in your mouth, huh?
Yes, Oreo has a ball.
Oreo has a ball in his mouth.
I bet you won't.
What a momentous occasion. What an unheard of occurrence.
So she's feeling better today.
She's feeling better today. She was diagnosed as actually having a slight concussion. Or a mild concussion, however they phrase that word. Whatever modifier they put in front of concussion.
How did the surgery goes, huh?
Much better than speaking only from an entirely subjective how am I recovering basis, a lot better than the first time.
Okay,
That's good.
that's good.
The first time I came to in recovery at about a pain level of an 8 or a 9 and
Wow.
was apparently not communicating well because I couldn't get anything for the pain for what felt like a couple of hours and probably was at least half an hour.
No, you know, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. And then it
I wasn't kidding when I said it was funny.
No, I understand what you meant.
and then I was at no time
You beat Brett.
at all times in my recovery. This time I have been in less pain than I was at the equivalent time of the previous recovery. And I'm physically recovering faster. At least in one regard, because this time I actually followed the instructions that they gave without a rationale why, and without knowing the rationale why it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, well.
They give you a jock strap and tell you to wear it for 2 or 3 days. But they don't tell you why you're wearing it. And why should I wear the jock strap instead of the briefs that I would normally be wearing? The answer is because the jock strap prevents swelling.
It compresses as well as
it compresses as well as supports and prevents swelling. So this time I knew that and I wore it.
So, I will be gone November 12th.
Okay.
And Martin's going to be gone November 12th. So.
When is this going November 12th?
Martin's going to be gone.
Yeah.
I need that. That's right. I'm spending one more day in San Diego to help my parents out. Yeah. Because they desperately need it.
Where Does It Hurt was the movie I was thinking of.
Okay. I don't think I've seen that one.
It's a Peter Sellers movie. He's a corrupt hospital administrator. Oh, for example, a patient died and they're getting ready to take him down to the morgue. And no, leave him there until 12:01. The hospital day starts at noon. And then several days later, the the, the inspectors are there to check the hospital, and the body has been in the room the whole time.
Oh dear. Yeah, never heard of that one. I'd heard of it, but
It is a darkly humorous movie. 1972.
it would have been before the second Pink Panther movie came out.
Mm-hmm. And it's not in the Wikipedia filmography they have for it.
Really?
Somebody apparently didn't like the movie or hasn't seen it.
Uh-huh. That's neat. Wikipedia is not 100%.
No.
It is not. There are some people though who think it is.
Hello.
They are wrong.
It's a good place to start your research. It should never be the place where you end it.
Unless you just want to know a little, and once you found the date the automatic transmission was first commercially introduced, you're done. And if they're off by a year, you don't actually care, for example.
Exactly.
But I still have an ongoing battle with Iron Man. So.
Yeah, well, I have to admit,
The comic book stuff on Wikipedia tends to be terrible. It's like it's mostly written by 11-year-olds.
It probably is.
could
Well.
be.
May I get this, please?
Well, you see, the first issue of Iron Man was Tales of Suspense 39. And if you read the cover, it says March 63. Okay. The magazines, which includes comic books,
Yes.
are always several months off.
Mm-hmm.
And if you check the records, you'll find out that it actually came out in the end of December 1962. But everybody and their brother keeps saying March of 63.
Because it's a
That was
simple
the
answer.
date. Yeah.
So I keep going into Wikipedia, or I always used to have Dave Messer go into Wikipedia, and he would go and he'd fix it, and some asshole who ran the site, or the entry, would always change it back.
Any registered editor, anybody who's signed up basically, can edit a Wikipedia page. That's the whole.
I've done it myself.
That's the intent.
I'm not signed up,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But
I
He
used
always-
to, but
he volunteered to do it, and he had to do it like 3 times, and each time it keeps getting changed back.
Providing a reference as to why it is weird would probably prevent the changing. Also, isn't there a discussion for any page to explain that sort of stuff?
Yeah, there is a.
There's a
There's
discussion
discussion
page
pages,
for
yeah.
every page. How well they
So-
get used varies.
It didn't bother.
So putting the discussion in would also help reduce the incident of people changing it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, assuming that they read the
Yeah.
discussion page.
There are occasionally arguments that are
There-
back and forth,
Yes.
forever on those
Yes.
discussion pages.
Yes. However, this isn't the type of thing that would cause it. It's
Probably
like-
not if you can cite a source.
Yep.
Scott, could I borrow an electrical outlet somewhere? My phone is rather low and I didn't realize.
Yes. Have we put one?
I have a.
This
Or even putting
rapid
it in the
support.
article that although the
I was
cover
You can
says,
use this one.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if the question is, do you want to be able to reach your phone in the course of the
I
evening?
don't see why I need
Then you're welcome to
what
come
a-
over
what
and
a
use this
neat
one.
Power bank.
Works with USB,
Yes.
so I figure that's
Well, what kind of cable do you need?
he's got
It's
it.
got
It says-
that. It's got that connector at
Okay.
that end,
Oh, okay,
standard
here you go.
USB at this end.
Micro USB probably.
As long as it's got as long as it's got what I think of as USB-A at the other end,
It does.
the power bank should
Yeah.
plug into it. It should plug into the power bank.
Correct.
I know what I'm trying to say. It's not coming out straight. What am I? I'm looking for that.
Plug it in,
We
see
are
if it
live,
says
by the way,
it.
in case anybody cares.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm not undead.
Ha ha ha.
Guffaw.
undead is not always a fun thing to be, especially if Jack is around.
What?
What did I do?
Do we
Which
need
time?
What have I done recently?
Yeah. Only killed one vampire that well, we weren't gonna promise her life and then renege. Might have been kinder to leave the point obscure until the last moment, and not let her fret about it. But maybe killed a number of vampires in the course of the campaigns.
Oh, the vampires aren't so bad. It's
I'm not the one that blew up that big pile of goop and killed the vampire instantly.
It wasn't instant, it was just very fast.
Well, that's extremely picky.
That was a misjudgment that I will take some responsibility for, because I did say it seems like it should work. You wouldn't think that'd be enough of an explosion to kill the vampire when we're not directing it at killing the vampire.
Now we have someone who uses demolitions, which makes the explosives far worse.
Not worse, better.
Better.
More efficient.
Yeah.
More powerful.
Yeah.
Just as
why is it that the way you said more powerful, I immediately added on than a locomotive?
Game mechanics question.
Mm-hmm.
If in a situation like that, if someone with demolitions was trying to clear away a pile of amorphous stuff and damage someone or something in the middle as little as possible, could you place your explosives with that intent? And
If you knew exactly where the
Yes.
person was, yes.
But if all you knew was probably
Somewhere
in, the
in that
middle,
general vicinity,
that's
it's
awful.
hard to aim at
Yes,
something like
or
that.
even aim away from
Yeah.
a blurry, unknown area.
Well, what you could do is optimize for a low pressure wave, so that the goop would move, but something more massive is unlikely to.
Mm-hmm.
That seems false.
Or just listen to Jack.
And
Because,
move the goop
No
slower.
one was going to eat that whole pile. They just weren't.
because, as someone's Aztec says, always bet on Jack.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and I figured out my spirit. It's the spirit of inquiry.
Okay.
Does help
Okay.
explain why Jack and I are at cross purposes sometimes. He wants justice, however ruthless, and I just want to figure out what the hell is going on.
Question everything.
Well, now you know that when you are in an inquiring mode,
You can get a +1.
you can get a +1. You have to tell me you're
I
doing
will
it.
keep that in mind.
But
Because it is up to the GM to determine if you are acting in your spirit.
I keep forgetting to use mine, and
Hmm.
boy, could I use mine a lot.
Which one? Which one's yours? I know you.
Spirit of Mysteries.
Oh yeah. Which is.
Oh.
Fairly
The reason I'm not finding it is it's in my pocket.
Is it still the 1st of February?
as far as
as far as I know, yes.
Okay.
Nobody has said that they're changing the day yet.
We have one more guy that comes on, don't we?
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And expect whatever he's up to be.
Do we know that
Probably.
it's a male?
I
think we got the
it's
genders, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
3
male.
men, 1 woman.
And I think we
And we've
got
already
Male,
dealt
male,
with the
woman.
one.
So,
So yes, is something that approximates a male.
Probably not even an approximation, although we might have been too busy for that point to be too busy with other things for that point to be important for a while.
funny you should mention that at work. They figured out why the maintenance port programmer was not working when they hooked up to the airplane's maintenance port programming connector. The
Mismatched couplers?
the connector on the airplane had pins, and the cable on my programming box had pins.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in connectors, male to male just doesn't work.
Yeah. Well,
Female
female to female doesn't work.
Yeah.
very well either, but it's easier to work around.
And that's why. And that's because some people goofed on defining the connector on the airplane.
They gave you the wrong specifications.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for
They gave the-
$5.65.
They gave the airline manufacturer the wrong specifications.
Yeah.
Oh,
Twice on 2 planes.
wow!
It's probably going to be easier to fix your part.
No, because there's other planes that use it
Oh, right.
with pins on the box and sockets on the airplane. So instead of having a universal programmer, I don't have to have 2.
You can't
Which means
put
you'll get them
a,
mixed up.
you can't put a dongle on.
That changed it though. I gotta pump the revision,
Okay.
Oh,
and then
right.
it'll be different.
'cause
And
it's different signal lag or different resistance or
No,
something.
no, it isn't
It's
that.
just a different revision.
Yeah.
They're very picky when it comes to aircraft.
Point.
Or medical.
Or
Yeah.
medical. Yeah, I worked at Boston Scientific. I had to deal with that kind of stuff.
Yes,
Sorry
if
you
you
worked
have to
there.
fly, do you want them to be 90%?
Yeah. I see. I see what you mean.
That was not the part that bothered me working at Boston Scientific. I didn't mind that I had to deal with picky software standards.
That wasn't why I was saying I'm sorry.
Okay.
My mother had at one time worked for them,
Okay.
so that is why I said I'm sorry.
You're familiar with working for Boston. You're familiar with the culture of Boston Scientific. you're
Yes.
saying.
Yes,
Didn't
or
bother
at
me
least
at
the
all.
culture as it used to.
I was a contractor, so I didn't really have to deal much with corporate culture. But
Okay.
so the way as I do, I took the bus up there, walked in, had to cross the campus. So went in a specific entrance to the building that I worked in. The entrance that I went through was right next to a building they don't talk about.
Okay.
That barely appears on any of their maps.
Mm-hmm.
It's the building where they do testing on live animals.
Oh.
Which would be why they don't talk about it.
Yes. And
They don't want it targeted.
yes. I believe they use dogs and pigs.
Okay.
And one time when I was walking in, they had a great big truck backed up to the loading dock. You could tell there were a lot of unhappy dogs in that truck.
They weren't going to get happier.
No. Anyway, but so many times walking into that entrance, I would hear, that was the worst, but many times I would hear the howls of all these dogs that they were experimenting on. And I understand you have to experiment on live animals for implantable devices. You can't just put them in a human being.
It is less ethical to do that.
Yes.
unless it's like a convicted murder or something, then you'd be able to do what you want.
Well, okay, but
Even they
that would
have
be
to
the
get
first
through
human testing, then later human testing. So, but it always bothered me walking by that particular building. Anyway,
I'm
that's
the happier.
I'm not happiest things.
Yeah.
Vampires, and horrible gods of death, and
Other happy things.
other happy things.
Have a avatar's pushover. Quite literally. Pushed her off the dais.
Anyway, we
That sky will
And we didn't get to the fourth one, did we?
No, we didn't
that-
have
that's what we said.
And I forgot to do the research I was going to do.
research
I'm
Simon
sorry.
was going to do, or research that
The research that Scott was going to do.
Ah, well, you had reasons.
Yeah.
Screaming in pain.
Well,
I was
hopefully
never
not
screaming
literally.
in pain for this round.
That's good.
I'm sure there were times you were grumbling a lot, at least mentally.
I am hopeful that they were extra careful to make sure it came out.
Oh, was it a repair or a repair?
I find out on Friday.
Okay.
Because Irene didn't ask the surgeon and he didn't say.
Okay.
And I did not see him after the surgery.
All right.
But I have a follow-up on Friday.
And you will ask him then. Was it a repair or a repair?
Mm-hmm. So if you're decongestant, you can ask me then.
Okay.
Speaking of decongestant for a moment, that electric snow shovels, so-called,
Mm-hmm.
if you guys are still interested in that, should we bring it to decongestant? It's
That works.
small enough to toss in the trunk easily if you don't have too much else in there. It's really not that much bigger than a regular snow shovel. It's just heavier. But you can use it with a, just hanging onto the handle the way it's supposed to be used.
I'm still not really used to how much bigger the trunk on
Okay.
this car is versus the trunk on the car you bought from me.
Right. So no problem then.
No problem.
Okay. We'll bring it along and at some mutually convenient time it will go to you.
So, if Martin and Steve will both be gone on November 12th, are we going to not play, or are we going to finish off that basic fantasy? Martin is very sad now.
I am not convinced that we would necessarily finish off the basic
Well-
fantasy, but maybe make some more progress.
I would be happy to make more progress on basic fantasy.
Okay? All right.
And you can catch me out the next time we have a chance to play. Certainly not telling Magenta we're not. No, this trip won't work out. So I can be there Tuesday the 12th.
Yeah, that.
I'm going to tell it for you.
That's no. I mean,
There you go. It's just over here.
it's a matter of priorities, and you have your
It's right there.
priorities straight.
It's not right there.
Did we just finish
Yes.
with the Hela Avatar and the Hela
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Vampire? And there was something about we didn't want to leave things behind.
There were some swords.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the swords have been buried. The swords of the defenders of Hela's holy place are now buried under a slab of limestone.
Cut out a big piece of limestone, dug down a little further, put the swords in there, and put the giant slab back on top.
So we can tell Robert or anyone we trust at the Terra Century Club where to find them if they want to experiment with them, but they won't be found by somebody who just happens to wander into that room.
Right.
Then they'll have to try to find them. Then they'll have to have the tools necessary to go get them.
Yeah, I mean, the slab is huge, and
very well fit.
very well fit into the spot. So it's suppose with a pickaxe, eventually, I mean, because it's limestone.
Yeah.
Eventually, you could dig through the giant slab of limestone and get down to it. It's not impossible. And people have done more looking for buried treasure. I can't remember what the name of that one pit is that they've been digging in for.
Oak Island.
The one on the island?
Oak Island.
Oak
yeah.
Island?
The curse of Oak Island.
Yeah, so the curse of Oak Island is becoming convinced that there must be treasure there and digging for it.
Keep
until
digging. It's
completely-
got to be down there. How would they have gotten it that deep in the first place?
Yes. What do they call that? one of the common fallacies.
Sunken
Sunken costs.
Yeah.
Sunken costs.
And
We
usually
have
they mean
spent so
sunken
much on
metaphorically in this case. Yes. We spent so
So-
much on it already, we've got
So,
to
so
keep
getting those
going.
swords, a lot easier than getting whatever is at the bottom of the Oak Island pit.
If any.
If anything's down there other than mud.
I think somebody did find like a part of a pistol from the right era or something like
They
that.
found
or
that.
something.
They've also found oaken boards
Mm.
underneath the standard water level.
Mhm. So there's circumstantial evidence that something of some sort was
Down there
in
at some
there
point.
at some point.
Okay, given that a pirate would not waste time building a coffer dam around a significant portion of an island so he could pump out the water to lower
Probably
the.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is obviously the aliens putting false evidence in
Oh.
it so that the archaeologists can.
Are you sure it's not God at the same time he buried the fossils he did this, maybe? Or
Nah, it's only it's only wood 100 some feet down. It's just aliens imitating God.
I see.
Oh, that looks like fun. We
It's
can
like
play
their
too.
pastime of drawing the crop circles just to see what kind of theories the humans would come up with about them.
Uh-huh.
So we're still at this, just outside of this, how the Avatar dies
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or on our way from there to what we figure to be the fourth and last sun. Can't remember how far we've got.
Not very.
We had buried the swords and determined that we need to move on to the
Right.
Last
location.
location.
Let's see.
What time of day
Pluto.
is that?
Hera or Hela.
Hela.
Abhoth.
Nergal was the other one that we've
Mhm.
already dealt with. Somebody. Abhoth is
A bunch of really fun gods.
yeah. If I had to pick any one of them, I'd go with Pluto. He's also the god of mining buried treasure and other potentially useful or interesting things underground.
Don't invest in any mines.
Why not? Oh, because he's cursed.
That's a good
know.
point, actually. That's a
Okay.
good point.
That's interesting, but all right. I don't think it's really that much of an active curse, but it's an aspect. It's something that can be triggered occasionally.
I don't want to talk about that later, but no.
Yes.
Bigger fish to fry.
I would rather do a fish fry than all this confusing stuff we've been doing lately.
Right.
I would
I'm
rather.
not sure which parts are confusing to you.
Well, all the mysteries related
Oh,
parts.
that's
which
all-
is the
that's
stuff
all-
with deities.
They're probably all just like alien beings or
Other
something.
dimensional.
Yeah.
To you silly machine. To see if I can change it.
The vampire behind door number 4.
Come on.
So, how are we tracking this thing again?
Oh,
So
he's over there.
yeah, Simon took a map, covered it in iron filings, vibrated it until focus areas showed up. Somehow Simon's subconscious translated information that he had gathered and caused him to cause that to happen.
Well, obviously, that one is
When
actually.
does composure get regained?
You just have to sit and wait for 15 minutes. Just say, I want to rest for 15 minutes.
Could I have done that while the boys were digging and
Yes,
clearing?
absolutely.
Okay.
So yes, your composure can be back.
We have to get back to get Lennon back up to the sanitarium.
Who says he can't be out having a night on the town?
What time of
He
day
almost
is it?
died of an illness and is recovering. I don't think he should be out on the town.
I'm an
Probably
extremely good doctor.
Yeah. What were you saying?
What time of day is it right now, actually?
About 5. So it is nearing dusk because it's
We should
February 1st.
probably wait to deal with.
You want to head back up? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Worried that the vampire, because it is darker outside, you're, well below the surface and not anywhere near the sun, might be stronger.
Depends on
You
depends
really-
on what the rules for these vampires are, which we don't know.
Well, I mean, they are vulnerable to sunlight, but you haven't seen anything that says they're, when they're
Affected.
deep underground, that they are somehow affected by the fact that the sun is up or the sun is down.
I vote we go after it. Get it done. Get it
Well,
over with.
okay. All right.
Lenin says.
None of the yes, Lenin says, our great leader. Probably not using your Lenin voice at the time, but
You really should, just so that you're in practice.
maintain
Maintain the disguise and all. Maintain the persona, I believe is what John Doe calls it.
what?
Maintain the persona.
Oh, yeah. But that's
Well-
because he has another stunt that he uses. So you don't have that one, right?
No.
What is going on under there?
Eris is just sitting and seems comparatively mellow. Oreo is troubled about something.
I have some idea what this.
No one is throwing the ball. Is that the problem?
I don't
or?
think that's.
You know,
He actually
Dad's,
tends to be
Dad's
sure.
sitting at the Dad's sitting at the table and not feeding him anything.
Oh, how terrible.
Yeah.
All right, so we are off then. We have
Yep.
decided we are going to go for the last vampire that we
Get
know
it
of.
over.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we do a lot of backtracking.
Uh-huh.
That's the easy part.
And then comes the forward tracking.
Right, so we go to as far as we can while still being on the map. And yeah, so there's a brick wall in your way. Somebody has erected a brick wall. Anybody want to look at the brick wall?
I'm going to get out the old stethoscope and put on a brick wall and try to listen to see what's on the other side. And that is a real shit of a roll.
That's an epic investigation roll of a brick wall.
Yeah, epic.
Okay.
Fantastic to take it in.
All right. Still waiting on Martin.
Epic on the focus sense stuff, only superb on the other senses.
All right.
I warn you that sense of smell
May not be the best
may
use here.
Yeah.
You're
Why do you think I've been putting off doing a
So
focus sense focus?
where you are
for
right
the
now,
sense of smell?
you are at a part of you're on the catacombs area.
Mhm.
So the smell isn't that bad in the catacombs.
Right.
All these bones have been here for
A long time.
Very
centuries.
long time.
It's
This
Old
brick
and
wall
rusty.
has not been here for centuries. It has
Right.
been here for maybe 50 years.
okay.
So it's a lot older than
The
our current
situation.
the situation.
but new
But-
as far as
Yes.
stuff down here in the catacombs.
Yes.
New by contents of catacombs time.
Yeah.
So it's a 19th century brick wall. Those who got, well, I think everybody got at least fantastic.
Yep.
See that there's some mechanism associated with this, which it's kind of there must be like a series of bricks to press,
Okay.
and
I was
then you
wondering.
can it's like a secret door basically.
Okay.
So that's if you got fantastic. Epic. So epic gives you, there are 4 bricks, but you don't know which sequence to press.
I'm going to investigate just those 4 bricks in their immediate vicinity, seeing if I can get a better idea. And incidentally, a better roll. That would be.
Yeah, you can see, those of you who got epic, that there were a number of bricks that people have tried to press. But yeah, but there's just 4 of them that seem to.
And now
actually
it's
have-
epic for smell and taste, which hopefully aren't relevant awe-inspiring for the.
All right, awe-inspiring. I guess that's probably enough. You figured out the sequence to press the bricks in. I'm not sure how you did that, but
The direction that the hand was taken out.
it's something weird like that.
Mm-hmm. Very subtle marks around the edges or something like that.
The numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 written on them.
Yes, but very, very small.
By identifying this was the last set of fingerprints used to open the door.
I'll go with that, I guess. I don't know.
And getting some sort of hint.
All I know is that he got high enough so that awe-inspiring is good enough to figure this out. So
If
there's
it's
4
a
bricks.
hidden-
You press them in this order.
If it's a hidden door, is there any possibility that it's a trapped hidden door?
Well, you're standing in front of it, so if it goes off, you know, you have to blast with it, so.
That's how I've done it on a few occasions.
Yes, it's not the way that's recommended, but I suppose you
Enter
could do
the
it
wrong
that way.
combination and the trap goes off immediately behind whoever enters the combination.
Mm-hmm.
It's a safety feature.
I'm perfectly willing to just push them in what I'm pretty sure is the right order and see what
I
happens.
will step about 30 feet back as he does this.
All right. Everybody else
15
joining
feet back.
Annie, the 30 feet back
No,
area?
15 feet back, because that should be out of the zone.
Yeah.
No, you want to be 22 feet back.
All right, 22 feet it is. How many inches? 22 feet.
Could you at least take a look around here and see if you see any signs of a trap?
Okay. That's engineering?
Yeah, that'd be
No.
If you're looking at the door to see if it's trapped, that's engineering. If you're looking at the area to see if a trap has gone off in the area, that's investigation.
Could it be investigation aided by engineering?
No. I mean, you're looking for singe marks or
Mm.
an area where a
Well,
blade
you're
sliced
not-
through.
All right, then you check the wall itself. I'll check the
Area.
corridor, including the floor and
Indications
ceiling,
of
starting.
unfortunate effects.
Uh,
It's not trapped.
I'm glad you're confident.
The confidence that can
Yes.
only come with a -3.
Yes, I understand, but yeah.
Oh, by the way, my
luckily
result was average.
Luckily for his
Good for you!
First roll of the night, and you did a -3.
Yes.
Wow.
Luckily for his peace of mind, Edgy doesn't know that. Investigating the rest of the vicinity, that's a wash. So Herb and Epic as bonuses apply.
Well, it looks like something like slammed into the floor right in front of this wall at some point. Like you're looking up there and like there's a section of stone that probably can just and rise back up again.
I think I'm going to push the 4 bricks with my sling staff and prepare to dodge backward quickly.
Okay. All right. Make an academics roll.
Not
I
doing
think
especially
make is
well.
what you want.
Fair.
All right. Well then, do as you please.
How big is that block?
It's
pretty big,
probably like
You're-
this by the width
Yeah.
of the corridor.
Fuck.
Okay, I'm.
Excuse me.
It's a slab of stone or
Oh.
a slab of fudge.
I was thinking that we were at the. So it's corridor width, and yay, right in. So it's coming down right in front.
Right
of,
where the person
Uh-huh.
would be.
Right where the person would be standing who's pressing those bricks.
Right.
So use a pole
I am
that you don't want to have slammed by.
Well,
You
he's
don't
using
get-
his sling staff.
and figuring if I can throw myself backwards quickly enough, I'm thinking the dodge stun would apply.
Go ahead.
All right,
All right.
so 1,
1, 2, 3, 4. Click.
slab
Nothing.
of stone. Okay, excellent. All that a win.
Okay, push the door open.
All right. So yes, there's now a section of wall which looks like it can be actually sort of turned
Twisted.
Ah,
on a central pivot.
like those false bookcase hidden door
Yeah.
tricks that movies are fond of.
Yep.
Okay.
Especially the ones that are flip, and there's something here, and flip, and
So,
there's something here, and
somebody
there's
wanna
flip,
open
and there's
this?
the third thing.
I'll
Because
work on
it just sort of moved like a
Uh-huh.
fraction of an inch
So
on a. So you looked at it and went, oh, that must be you do
Yeah.
this to it.
Yeah.
So
push on it since I'm
all
right
right,
there.
make a strength roll. This is not a high bar.
Yeah, but I'm starting
Jack
with
couldn't actually fail this.
it's a wash, mediocre. Need a little help.
I will help. Legendary.
Yeah. It's no longer the only
Alright,
person
So
that can make
you notice that
ridiculous
that
things.
there must be some spring tension on this. So you push it open, and now people can move through, but you have to hold it, and it's
Okay.
going to spring back
Okay.
Let's make sure
unless
we
you
figure out
use
how
a piton.
we
Yeah.
could.
It's never a high spring tension.
Right.
But-
Apparently, it's a little higher than mediocre.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, it's average.
Yeah.
So-
well,
Wander through.
All right.
Okay. Before we let the door close all the way,
look for how it opens from this
can
side.
somebody identify the unlock mechanism from this side?
Sure, it should be pretty easy. Engineering.
Engineering might well do it. Trying straight investigation.
Fantastic.
There's like a big button right there. I mean, it's
Oh,
more
wow.
like a metal plate on this side.
Okay. Well,
It's like
a
the other side was made to be a
non-concealed
secret
pressure
wall with a secret door with a complicated unlocking mechanism. This side, it's like, well,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
already
that's
past
right.
the
That's the
secret door,
door.
so
Yeah.
nobody's coming at it from this other side who doesn't know it's here.
From this side, it looks like a handicapped access entrance.
Something like that, yeah.
That would be anachronistic.
Well, yes.
Okay, well then I'm going to sprint through the doorway.
Okay.
Going through.
Once we're all through, might as well let it go closed.
Okay. And yeah, it's just.
Anybody
What is your
feeling
problem?
paranoid enough they want to try the pressure plate and make sure it works from this side?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's a certain amount of on the way back.
it'll
If the pressure plate doesn't work,
I'll punch it.
do we care?
That's the point.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, it's a brick wall, and while some of you would have a hard time breaking it down, Jack would just like run through it like it was a paper wall, basically. As long as he makes it past the trap on the other side without it slamming into him, he's fine.
He's probably okay if the trap slams into him,
Well,
too.
yeah.
He knows it's there.
It probably only weighs, I mean, looking at it, it probably only weighs 800 pounds.
Oh,
Is that-
not even half a ton. Oh,
Yeah.
Jack's not gonna have any problem at all.
I mean, most people are going to not like having 800 pounds of rock slammed down onto them.
Oh, there is that.
Not considered good for the health.
No.
It is a bad thing to have happen to your head. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you how you get short people.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, most of you would be able to get past this brick wall with either weapons or fists. It doesn't have more than 3 boxes.
No? What's going on here, huh? I see you don't have any more balls.
It's a brick wall.
Yes.
It's not impregnable.
You're a DOG.
Um,
DOG.
all right. So, you are past this.
Years.
This is still more catacombs.
Surprise, surprise.
Though it is unmapped catacombs on the map of catacombs.
Right.
That map ended right at the brick wall.
Oh, the new development.
Yeah. Yes.
More likely somebody decided that this section was just too unstable or otherwise dangerous.
Or was paid.
Perchance.
So everybody make an alertness roll.
I believe the key phrase there was make. And that isn't it.
I got an average.
Inspiring.
Well, that's a lot better than average.
Yes.
Superb.
Merely good.
I roll very well.
Flexibility is the key.
Did you really?
However.
We already have somebody who rolled really well.
I rolled really poor.
Well, I mean, you're with the. It's not like Jack is. Well, have you rehushed everybody yet?
No.
No.
Oh, are you planning on rehushing everybody at
Yeah.
some point?
Yeah.
Hey, I did one better.
Because they were not hushed for quite a while there. I mean, this whole time they haven't been hushed.
Yeah.
Correct.
Whereas if you just bumped it up 2, you would have done 2 now.
Yes. I guess I'll stay at good.
Okay.
I like +1.
Okay, that's your.
Wait, no. Pardon me.
That's your.
Godlike +5. Sorry.
5.
Ouch,
All right, so you're all stealth at godlike +5.
Oh, for stealth. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Right. But what about
Okay.
the alertness roll?
That was awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
you're all hushed at Godlike +5.
yes, no one's going to notice you.
Probably not.
That may be a good thing.
Not even most gods. So,
Probably not even Sluggle.
You're to test that.
no, yeah, godlike +5. He'd have to spend a lot of time. And no, he couldn't even do it well. I mean, he'd have to roll well and spend a lot of time. His suit gives him lots of
Bonuses.
stuff, lots of bonuses on a lot of things. Did you roll alertness?
Superb.
Oh, that's right, superb. So Jack is the only one who you don't know how far, but it's a very long way off. You're hearing kind of a like a. Let me try this.
Like fish having a conversation.
There is some kind of flapping, like flesh flapping. It's very far ahead, straight ahead. No idea what it is.
It doesn't sound pleasant.
I will try and listen for it.
Okay, so now you're doing an investigation.
Jack sort of described it. Yeah.
I'm trying to decide
No,
if I
I
want
hear
to
it.
hear it.
No, you don't.
All right. So
Unless
not
I
very good.
Yeah, unless I throw
And a
anything
stethoscope
extra
doesn't help you
added.
here.
No, please, yes, that would be great. I'm saying nope, I'm not hearing. Yeah, want to go with
Y'all hear it soon enough.
that. Probably.
Well, we will continue moving forward at a normal pace, and I'm just
It is at least a sign that we are moving in the right direction.
Or deeply troubling values of right. Yes.
Or values of right, including moving towards the thing we believe we want to be moving towards.
Yeah.
Especially since I no longer have to fight it out.
But we're currently seeing nothing in the corridor. Okay.
No.
Of interest.
Yeah.
And Jack is, I mean, it's so far ahead that that you wouldn't see it. It's way, I mean, it's a very long.
It's an odd.
He had to
noise
roll
off in the
awe-inspiring to hear what he heard.
Understood.
So superb wasn't good enough, and that's up well above what a normal person would be getting as an alertness roll. So,
normal person roll plus for the get great.
so, yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
You're not going to see it.
It's choice of weapon in the hand is what it is.
It's
I'm dealing with an empty tunnel.
Don't
It's
you
the
have
12
don't
gauge
you have
trench
close
gun.
at, don't you have close at hand
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
quick draw.
quick draw?
I've got quick draw. I've got close at hand.
So it doesn't matter what weapon you have in hand.
Really?
It's good for his peace of mind.
Yes. It's my peace of mind.
Ah, phooey. Sounds like your piece of mind's on a
All right.
microscope slide.
So we're continuing on. We go on for quite a bit.
And I think I will get out of the staff because if we're going into trouble, it might be useful to have in hand.
You don't know that something making that sound is trouble.
Of course.
Anything pleasant and
If we find the
friendly.
place we're looking for, there will be trouble.
Okay.
There has been in the previous 3.
All right. So
Could be someone making fish tacos.
everybody makes another alertness roll.
Okay.
And this time I got legendary.
This time I
Great.
got legendary as well.
Superb.
What'd you get?
Oh, wait a minute. I got awe-inspiring. Sorry.
All right. Well, actually, anybody who got fantastic or better is now hearing that weird, wet, slappy sound. And you're pretty sure that you're closer to it, that you're moving in the right direction.
Yes.
If you're looking for weird, wet, slappy sounds.
So I'm moving in the wrong direction.
But you're heroes, and so let's head towards the weird, wet, slappy sound.
Let's head towards danger.
Yep.
Yes.
I am
I
going
am-
to make another attempt to listen specifically for that sound. I might roll. Nope, not yet. Although that's only enough to cancel the focus sense bonus, giving me superb for hearing.
Wow, you almost made it.
Oh, well.
See what's happening
Why-
is the
why-
spirit
why-
companion has his fingers in his ears.
Wait a minute. Are you using your group bonus?
The thing is, this is just a physical senses investigation roll. Will he help me with that? I thought it was
Oh,
only mysteries-related
mysteries.
stuff.
Wait.
He only
Yes,
helps
it
with
bodies.
mysteries.
Yeah.
He's a spirit companion.
Okay.
And you know, I'm reminded of the
Well, I'm gonna keep
of the
moving
one
forward.
line from the climax of The Warrior's Apprentice. Nowhere else in the universe would the reaction of somebody pulling a needler be to have the mask rush towards him.
All right. So you go on for a ways,
Mhm.
and so in the catacombs, obviously there are
niches with all sorts of bones.
Yep.
Mhm.
Right.
You can see in the distance. You're not right there yet. You're looking down the corridor. There's a pile of bones, like just on the floor. A great big pile.
Mhm.
Are you continuing towards the great big pile of bones?
Yes.
All right.
I assume that the lovely sound is appearing to come from the other side of the big pile of bones.
Oh yeah, it's way past that.
Well, yeah, I'm assuming that there have been branches and crosses and such, and that we.
Not as many as you would expect.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, okay. Just before we get to the big pile of bones, like 6 feet shy.
Well, actually, something happened.
Okay.
You're about 10 feet from the pile of bones, and you notice just past the pile of bones,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
inscribed in the floor is a skull, and in French, death is beyond here. Do not continue.
So,
Boy, that's really gonna scare me away.
It's not meant for adventurers. It's meant for like the police or these people who turned into a great big pile of bones here.
Yes. I want to take a look at the great big pile of bones
Okay.
psychically, and just to verify that what we have here is a great big pile of bones that are otherwise not interesting, i.e., they're not like going to turn into skeletons that are going
Okay.
to jump up and
All
fight
right,
with us.
make a mystery roll.
I am looking to see if the rest of the carcass is somewhere around, and if the bones look so dry and brittle that it's just that they've been here so long that everything.
You're investigating, and this you get a forensic medicine bonus on this.
Okay.
I'm just.
Do I
thinking
get
it is.
a serious mystery bonus on this?
I would
Yes.
think.
Okay.
Well, that cancels out that part of the roll. It'd be fantastic for mine.
So, looking at this great big pile of bones, they probably have only been here less than 75 years.
That's not enough time to completely get rid of the carcasses.
You would think, but all of the flesh has been dissolved, and something like partially dissolved the bones. All of the anything that could be dissolved has been dissolved.
Okay.
There's no marrow left inside any
Yeah.
of these bones.
No traces of
You would say
traces
that
of
it
cartilage,
wasn't a
no-
shoggoth, because the shoggoth would dissolve the bones too. But it's something somewhat similar. Some sort of similar thing
Some
happened.
sort of ooze-like blobby thing.
If it was a shoggoth, there would only be like metal bits left, not the bones. But something, yeah.
Something dissolved away the rest of it.
All the clothing is
Oh,
gone.
God.
It would not be gone in 75 years.
Mm-hmm.
if you just dump clothed dead bodies someplace in a tunnel and left them, there's still traces
buttons
of
around?
clothing.
Off of clothing, zippers, buttons, that sort of stuff.
No buttons.
Invented.
Um,
What was the zipper?
zippers were not. Yeah,
Oh,
metal zippers were not popular in the 19th century.
Okay.
It was a lot of like button flies and stuff like that.
buttons and
There
hooks.
are a few metal buttons, but
Probably
if there were any
very
wooden
few
buttons
glass.
or
I was thinking the metal buttons
Yeah,
or
there
the
are-
hook clasps.
Yeah.
That,
there are a couple of
grommets.
guns.
Guns.
Like you can see, yeah.
Rick, what kind of gun is that?
it's the one that goes bang.
When
Maybe
was
I
it
should do
produced?
I look at the gun.
Because I'm figuring he can recall off of his weapons, right?
No.
No?
Nothing's guns.
It's academics,
It's
but
academics,
aided
but-
by weapons.
Oh.
Actually, it's guns.
Oh, guns.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry,
Guns, which, yeah.
guns. Okay.
Okay.
I got inspiring.
So
So-
Yeah, it's what is it? An 1850 Colt, maybe something like that.
Something Civil War era.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be about.
Oh. So it's a Colt. So it's gonna be either a Navy revolver or an Army revolver.
Navy has a longer barrel.
Yeah, it's
That's the
let's say
easy
it's
way to tell.
a couple of Navy revolvers.
Do Civil War. Navy revolvers. Interesting. Nice antiques.
Oh, that matches
They're
up with
percussion
the
cap.
75 years close
Yeah,
enough.
they are they are damaged. Like they took an acid bath. They're restorable, but
I don't really care.
yeah,
I don't really care about using
So,
percussion.
yeah,
caps.
so-
something.
I mean,
So apparently zippers
Reloading
are
them
just
is-
becoming popular now.
Yeah.
In game time.
yes,
They were invented back in one guy in 1851, another guy in 1893.
yeah, but they were not popular in the
they were
19th
not,
century.
no.
It was button flies all the way.
Yes. Okay. I did awe-inspiring on my.
So whatever did this was not a normal thing.
I am so surprised.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you've seen like the remains of what a Shoggoth has done, and it leaves sort of a mysteries signature.
Yep.
And this is not the same signature, but it's definitely something mysteries
Kind of
based.
sort of like
something in the something in the same pantheon.
Yeah.
You know.
A perverted mysteries
Right.
scent or whatever
Okay.
you want to call it.
And then just because I'm really paranoid, I'm going to do a check
on the skull and the inscription.
on these. Well, actually, starting at the skull and the inscription, and going
Forward.
forward some convenient distance. You know, the GM won't have to tell me what this is. You know, how much can I do in one? Basically, it's how much can I do in one sentence.
Like a zone.
Like, okay, a zone is fine.
So, like 21 feet.
And the basic question is, okay, is there actually something right there? Or is this just actually a warning that somewhere past here really bad things happen?
Well, it's
You know, is this a warning of an active measure or is it a pretty passive warning? And okay, so if I get the Spirit of Mysteries bonus for this one, then it's epic and it is otherwise fantastic. Nah, it is. No, it isn't. I really want to know. Which raises them to legendary without the Spirit of Mysteries and awe-inspiring with it.
Okay. So it's not okay. So it's like, you know how there are areas where you pass a barrier
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, right there. Here it's more like whatever is weighed down there might barely sense you about here, and then it'll have more of a chance the further you get. It's
Okay.
not a firm here,
Okay.
and then you pass a
It's
barrier.
passing the edge of something, but
Yeah.
it's a blurry
You are at the
edge.
probably at the very furthest. You're going to be at the very furthest edge
of its hunting area.
of its hunting area. Yes, that would be a good word for it, hunting.
So,
But you're pretty sure that with godlike +5,
It's going to have a hard time telling we're here.
yeah, right here, it's not going to
Yeah.
have any chance at all.
so no mystical bombs going off, Simon? You
No.
just walk right on by. Okay.
No, it's a if you go past this thing, it might be able to tell you're here. And if you go much
We're
further past
entering the
things,
fringes of something's perception.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah. Good luck spotting me.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, these people probably had no stealth at all. They were talking to each other, being bravado, using a lot of bravado, and we're gonna figure out what's doing this, and we'll get down there and we'll kill it,
And had their lanterns going.
and have their lanterns going.
Or their
And so they got to the very furthest edge, and it's like Mr. Slappy shows up and eats them. So,
or it's possible that whatever it is,
let's just move on, huh? I
just kicked him out past the edge.
I see. Dump the bones just outside its
Don't
doorway.
leave
So
your
yes.
waste in your own home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't crap in your bed, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Could be. Anyway, yes.
Do you crap in your
will-
bed? Yes or no?
No.
Not
Yeah.
Or in certain things that says which I hold very much to avoid.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I believe the phrase is not if I can help.
Yeah.
Now,
The Twins win.
Oh,
huzzah.
were they playing against this time?
They were playing against Detroit, who has lost now 110 games.
Straight?
No, total.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
they're like 46 and 110.
Okay.
Would
Okay.
that be the
Now, the
Tigers?
question is,
I think
has the
so.
other game relating to the magic number finished yet?
It has not. However, Cleveland is ahead 8-0, so the magic number is not going to go down.
Right.
They're going to win. Yeah, so the magic number is now 2. We are that much closer to winning the division.
Creeping right along.
Creeping right along.
Very appropriate for what we're doing.
Everybody who has mysteries above mediocre, make a mysteries roll.
Wow, that's
Wow!
wow.
Annie could have done better.
No.
Okay.
No.
No, that
But still, that's in the realm of a normal, mysteries person. This is not a Simon normal roll.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a -3.
Okay.
Why are you showing me 0? You got mediocre for your mysteries? Okay, well, then
Welcome
you
to
don't
the
notice
club.
anything.
That's
Mine would be great unless my spirit applies. 'Cause
It was around with you.
No,
I need the
Spirit of inquiry.
Spirit of inquiry
Yes.
thing. Okay,
Well, that's a
then
swing
this
of
is
3.
Yeah, that's a swing of 3.
That's going to be enough.
That puts me up at epic.
Okay, see, yeah.
Well, yeah, that puts me at either epic or legendary, depending on whether spirit out applies.
Because it's a mysteries roll, and you're in a mysteries. In fact, this whole adventure is mysteries, pretty much. So, yeah. Yes, that -3 would not have been good enough.
That -3 would have ended up being superb with the spirit
With
bonus,
the spirit bonus, yeah.
Yes.
So that would not have been.
which was part of the reason why it was. And just for reference, the aspect that I used was the spirit say.
Okay.
So mine is superb with everything that applies. You can tell me what I know first, and then
You don't know anything.
Oh,
Remember,
okay.
the real base for mysteries is fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there are situations where you don't need fantastic. Improving an item that's starting at good, for
Right.
instance. But for something like this, yes, it's like the entire basis of mysteries is being perverted right here.
Ooh.
Like,
In other words, seriously walking into enemy territory
Yes.
in some sense.
good. That's where then I know where the enemy is.
mhm.
Unlike Gil, where I don't know where he is.
So if one way of looking at it would be that I'm walking into what might be thought. I'm walking into a space that's being penetrated by another plane, and how it works.
Something like that, yeah.
Would be one way of looking at it.
Lovely.
So,
This is not going to be fun, folks.
Why am I
actually,
not trying?
make a second roll. This one is for your spirit companion.
Ah, yes.
Ooh.
He might notice something I don't.
You know, it might be worse than that. True.
But he may well notice something I don't.
Oh, he's very likely to notice something you don't. The question is he going to have any capability of telling you?
We'll see. That would only be good if I'm rolling off of my mystery.
All right, so
It's
yeah,
terrible. Well, good.
you notice that he stopped being with you. You were continuing down the corridor, and he just stopped.
What? And I say to Simon, give me a moment here, and I stop myself and
And
just
you also need to say that to Rick.
What?
Not to Rick, to
Jack.
Jack.
to Jack.
Okay, yes. Give me a moment's pause here. I'll say to make sure he doesn't keep walking and unstealthy.
Why? What's wrong?
Something with my spirit companion. Need a moment to talk to him.
I actually don't see him.
He's not.
I don't
He's
see the
not-
mist or the dust.
He's not doing anything to visibly manifest at the moment, and he's also not right next to me, which is why I need to ask him what's up.
That means he bugged out, right?
It means he's trying to find out.
All right.
Um,
So you can see him. He's back
Right.
down the corridor, and he's like this, like twisted. He's wrapping himself in his own arms,
Going into a fetal position almost.
almost, yeah, crouched.
So I'm trying to make contact with him to where it's like talking to him.
Okay.
Do I? Is there any barrier to that sort
No.
of communication other than him being upset?
Well,
It's
he's,
like
All right. So you need to say something to him.
he's fighting back that explosive diarrhea.
one problem you don't have to worry about once you're dead. Although
Are
he
you
does
sure?
sort of look like
You
that.
saw Ghostbusters. That ectoplasm. Ew.
Anyway, so I will ask him. Is it so distressing? You just need to go elsewhere and be out of touch for the time being.
He has this pleading look on his face, and he's like nodding now.
Okay. Then go. I'll manage. Get far enough away that you feel safe.
Okay, and he zips away.
I
You
suspect
see
I
this
know where you will
outline
find
of
him.
smoke.
I suspect I know where
Moving
you
at
will find
10
him.
times the speed of light.
Yeah,
At that skull.
probably a little further away actually, but yes.
Okay, over the pile of bones.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. He might prefer to be even the equivalent of a few paces further up the corridor, so he's not hovering right over the bones. There's probably some psychic residue there. Anyway,
I'd head for a
you did-
sidewalk cafe.
Yeah, but
A
even
little van ordinaire.
even though he could pick
He's
up
dead.
he could pick up a glass of wine, but he'd have trouble drinking it.
Yeah.
Skeleton walks
There's
into a
all
bar,
sorts
says,
of-
"Give me a glass of beer and a mop."
There's all sorts of spirits at a pub.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah,
like
no, that no.
it's just like the
Where's
Pirates of
the
the Caribbean.
rubber
They
mallet?
eat the apples that keep falling through. You know?
Okay.
You have
So-
heard of sending the bobtailed cat, the ghost of the bobtailed cat, the ghost of the bobtailed cat to the garage shop.
No, I haven't heard that.
What?
Yes. This
So
is
okay, Edgy,
Because
that
that's
was
where they
Spirit
retail
Companion, right?
spirits.
He's gone. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because that's where they retail spirits.
I don't know why he's so worried. It's not like he's gonna get killed or something, but
apparently there are fates worse than death, even if you're dead, and he sure felt like continuing on would be walking into one.
no.
I
but-
believe-
But I wasn't
I
gonna stop and
believe-
argue
I
about that.
Scott has this vague recollection of our characters having gone through times when it felt like the world was being twisted around us in strange and awful ways.
Mm-hmm.
This is what he is feeling right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't blame him because it's only going to get worse.
No, it's not. It's gonna get better when we destroy whatever this is.
Well, okay, it's going to get worse
Until
for a
that,
while.
Will get worse.
This is keeping me from capturing ill. I am really not happy right now.
Well, we'd be moving on, except for we're missing one critical individual.
Yeah. Well, we're moving on. This stuff is
Yeah.
gonna happen.
And how quickly we move on depends partly on how
Well-
soon something else is supposed to happen. So,
Well, I don't think I need the trench gun any longer. I'm putting away the trench gun. That's useful for clearing a corridor of things that,
that are
double op buck.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's what they had the Thompson for, was to clear trenches.
Mhm.
That's what it was designed for.
Throwing a lot of lead in a
when
very
you get
short
a
time.
chance, could you get me a little more water? I do it myself, but there's a dog asleep on my lap.
That's
You would get a lot of use.
Not asleep, but resting.
After World War I, they outlawed shotguns as a combat weapon. You could use it for security, but you couldn't take it. You couldn't, according to the conventions, you weren't allowed to use them.
You used it
As
in
your law.
Vietnam.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so as you go on, you are basically past the normal catacombs area. You're into the mine area now.
But I presume that floor and walls look normal. That there's no physical sign of any weirdness once we're past the pile of bones and the stuff and carved into the floor.
Physical signs of weirdness. No, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, it looks like a limestone mine.
Mm-hmm.
Continuing on. So yeah, I mean, and by the way, you've been slowly going down pretty much this whole time.
Hey, I remember what Words in the Wind said, right? Lower.
no deeper.
Deeper. Well,
Close enough.
close enough.
Yeah.
Not going up.
You're not going up, no. Everybody make another alertness roll.
Because I can actually know stranger things have happened. I got fair, which beats which beats all my previous alertness rolls.
Inspiring.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
We'll wait for Beth.
Yeah.
We've gone far enough that it's time to make another alertness roll.
Okie doke.
Yeah.
I think make is an operative word this time.
Yeah, I blew that part, but I'm not throwing a paper.
Did you get inspiring?
No, I won't get all inspiring.
Well, yeah, but I don't remember what the target was last time, but it's probably down from what it was then.
Let's see. Well, I'll just shut up and listen. That's epic.
That was probably way more than you needed,
Superb was your target.
which is what I got.
Which is what I would have had, but I wanted to be sure.
So you are definitely getting close to whatever is making that horrible sound.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a really active night in a whorehouse. Anyway.
That was not a mental image we needed. Or at least not me.
Rolling your resolve.
Sorry, miss.
Anybody who got, say, better than epic or better actually, there's an odd smell, just barely detectable right now.
With a superb investigation roll, am I finally hearing?
You're finally
the
hearing
odd
it, yes.
noises
If
for
people
myself?
say,
yeah,
hush, we can hear that horrible sound.
yeah,
And you're like, let me listen. Oh, I can hear it too.
okay.
And
So I'm
now,
the
It
only
sounds
one who-
very unpleasant.
now I'm beginning to detect something that smells terrible. Just a whiff, but it's.
I'm still
Yeah,
not
I'm guessing
hearing
a
whatever
good-
you guys are
good
talking
investment.
about.
I'm guessing a good investigation.
Yeah, good is not good
doesn't
enough.
get me
No.
anything for the scent.
No.
It's like it just got to where I can hear it. We'll keep going, and you'll probably hear it soon.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
you're lucky you can't smell this.
I don't expect that walk to last.
Aren't you wearing an environmental suit?
Well, you're right.
You can't
You
smell
can't smell
it through
it.
the environmental suit. No. If you have a gas mask on, you can't smell it. If you have an environmental
I
suit
have a
on.
gas mask handy. I'm not
Not
wearing
wearing
it at the
moment.
Yeah.
I can smell it.
So creeping right along, so
Yes.
moving towards it.
So yes, those of you who are smelling it are like, we must be closer now.
Yeah. I'm closer to what becomes
Yeah.
a less
You do not-
appealing question. the
You
more
smell this
think
and it's
about
like, this is not like something I have ever smelled before. It's unpleasant in
it.
a
But
way
it's a
different than
novel
anything. Yeah.
unpleasantness.
It's like a backed up Mexican sewer.
No.
No, we've smelled those.
Well, you've smelled backed up sewers before,
That's
but
Maybe not Mexico.
not in Mexico. Which, I suppose dietary differences make the sewage smell different.
Plus it's warmer.
Plus it's
point.
That too.
Plus you get different bacteria.
Okay, so you turn a corner.
Mhm.
You've gone for a ways more. You turn a corner, and about 100 feet down the corridor, there's Mr. Slappy. So, Mr. Slappy, the thing that's making this unpleasant sound is sort of spherical, but it also has like these fins sticking out from it in various. I mean, it doesn't look like something that evolved, because nothing that evolved would have fins in these really weird.
That ain't natural.
That isn't natural, no. And
Sort
but
of-
it's using these fins to sort of roll down the corridor and then roll back up the corridor.
What-
And Mr.
what-
Slappy is about 5 feet across. And those central spherical, no,
Not quite.
those are tentacles.
Okay.
So, as if a physicist said to an ichthyologist, postulate a perfectly spherical fish, and the ichthyologist had nightmares about it.
Something like that, yeah. But so it rolls about 20 feet down the corridor, and then it rolls about 20 feet back. You don't.
I have never seen
It's
anything like
big
this.
enough with the fins that it's going to be hard to get past this thing. I mean, you could probably jump over it, but you couldn't really get around it to get past it without touching it.
Touching it seems like a bad idea.
I
would agree
was
with that.
contemplating.
So, those of you who have seen Shoggoth before know that Shoggoth are sort of translucent and maybe a whitishness to them. This is gray, like
an unnatural gray. Like
And
normal things aren't this gray and alive.
But it doesn't look gelatinous. It looks it looks
Fleshy.
like it looks
It
fleshy.
doesn't have
has-
scales on it. It's
Ah.
just kind of unpleasant looking. I mean, it's just.
so like a gray catfish or a gray skater ray with a really
Yeah.
unpleasant skin condition.
Yeah.
Remember that one of the attribute one of the unclean,
Not just the
not just the dead, the
okay.
unclean.
Well, we really need
And you're pretty sure it hasn't noticed you. It has
Yeah.
not. I mean, its behavior and it's making. You now know what's making this weird wet slappy sound. It's all these.
A leprous
all these
ball
sort of
yeah.
icky
fins
skin.
that are sticking out from it, and they're
Yeah.
slapping up against the walls and the floor, and
Okay.
well, as it rolls back and forth.
The thing is, though, rolls back and forth in the corner.
Mhm.
Yes,
The thing is, though, I could jump over it, but then I'd be out of the same zone with you guys.
absolutely, you would be. Yes, it is not as tall as the corner, even its fins, because, I mean, you know.
I have high enough athletics that I could go and
Mhm.
jump over and land on my feet.
Annie could go up the wall, across the ceiling,
Absolutely.
down the wall, and get ahead of it.
Simon could leap over him also, but
We presumably this is not directly some manifestation of the deity.
Guardian.
It's a guardian.
I just
crystal.
happened to bring my splunkering gear.
Why did we? Why are we talking? I just pulled an incendiary grenade.
Okay.
Can try it.
You probably want to move a little closer. You're now at,
100 feet.
yeah, you're now beyond 2 zones, so.
Yeah, I got win in 2 zones.
I, perfectly willing to have you.
Yeah,
try
these
that,
kinds
see
of
what
things
happens.
tend to be killed by incendiary grenades.
Mhm.
right.
And I'm not really good at weapons.
Okay.
And don't you have the
Good arm.
long the good
Long
arm,
arm.
the long
Long
arm
arm thing.
stunt?
I don't believe I do yet.
Oh, okay.
The one that lets you throw an
So
extra
we, so,
zone?
so we didn't have to increase your sleeve length? Okay.
Weapons. Actually,
Good arm.
I don't have a good arm.
Yeah, lousy pitcher.
If I were looking at
So,
if I were
character.
looking at guns, I could do that.
Mhm.
Okay.
You're not firing the incendiary grenade
No,
from a gun. So you can throw 1 zone.
that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be in zone 1 and throw into zone 0.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do a supplementary action of throwing and then stepping back.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
But the grenade's
Is
only
this-
1 zone.
It's only 1 zone. Yeah.
And
so-
roll together, so
Right.
so when you're throwing it, it won't actually know. Actually, since you're attacking and not me, oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I'll
cannot
be-
attack
I'll
and
be
maintain
exposed.
stealth.
Okay, maybe I
he
should
will.
that.
You,
This isn't good.
So
is
this
any
rolled?
about to make a suggestion that you?
I am, if there's an opportunity. I happen to bring my splunkering gear, which would include pitons and ropes and such, so we could just go over it.
Yeah.
That would be fine for him. If any of us drives a piton, we're exposed.
Oh,
Well,
But
make your throw.
make the throw. I'm putting on my gas mask.
That's actually a good
Well,
plan.
actually,
Yeah.
I got a superb.
All right.
I don't believe I. One time
seeing the others put on their gas mask, I figure they know something.
All right.
Just in case.
Consider
I
something that
actually-
might
I
think at
smell
this
like
point-
really scorched.
Can I smell it yet?
I was gonna
At
say,
that
but at this
rate,
point we could
probably.
probably all
Yes.
smell it, can't we?
Yeah.
Me.
Okay.
Except
Well,
you.
yeah. Those of you in environmental suits can't smell.
And it probably has notes to it reminiscent of dead fish, but others that are much less familiar without being any notes.
is it cognizant of an
Since
explosive
opening
device in
up
its
something
in
like
its
this
zone?
is likely
Since
to
I
be
actually
very
didn't attack and I don't
fragrant,
break my
I do
stealth,
put on my gas
and I'm
mask.
only a god like +5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess no. Just a guess.
All right. So you managed to get it within the
Targeted area.
targeted area.
I look away.
The incendiary grenade explodes.
I have a flash on my infravision.
Now the question is, does it need to be hit by something?
Special.
Yeah. Mystical is not the
Arcane.
Blast
Arcane.
Or
are the
blast.
two.
Hey, we
Yes.
blew up a whole bunch of sugar. We just used dynamite.
Yeah.
I should
Well,
say Edgy
not
blew
work.
up a whole bunch of sugar, including a whole town full of people with dynamite.
What was I thinking?
Impressive kill.
but this is not a shoggoth.
Making Jack look bad.
I believe yes, I believe I have mentioned this is not a shoggoth.
And it may not work.
It was okay. The incendiary grenade was not thrown with a hand that makes it arcane somehow.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
My
okay.
hand with the ring on.
All
Does
right.
it still work even for something
If you made the
throw,
attack,
or
you
does it-
having
Yeah, I believe the way that works is that it's arcane when you throw it.
Okay,
and then-
well, good. That may be
so
useful.
if that's the case, then yes. And so you don't smell this. Everybody with the gas masks on, even through your gas mask, this does not smell good. It
Wasn't
smells
expecting.
unnatural and unpleasant, and
Endurance
Avoid your
roll.
save.
That?
it's not endurance roll bad, but it's like, wow, I'm really glad that I'm not smelling this
You're
I'm
right.
glad I
without
got
the
it.
gas mask on.
Yeah.
Also, there's a whole lot of smoke. Like, it's burning and this horrible, dense smoke is coming off of it.
Is it going to be a likely problem as far as oxygenation?
No, I mean, this is a huge, long tunnel.
Okay.
And there is a little bit of air movement down here. So, no, it's just, you don't...
Very
Well, okay,
unpleasant.
you can't actually see right now because the tunnel is filled with this dense black smoke.
I
Any
might,
baby
since
can.
I'm working on infravision, be able to still see the glow of the fire.
Oh, yeah.
That's why
Ultraviolet goes
mentioned-
right through the smoke.
Huh?
Ultraviolet goes right through the smoke.
Okay, those of you with ultraviolet vision on as well.
Which is the
The rest of
The
us.
rest of us.
Probably, yeah,
Okay.
because we would have been using the goggles rather than carrying a light that
Right.
So yeah, looking at this, it's bubbling and smoking and
It's like melting and smoldering at the same time.
yeah. There's no bones somehow.
intensely disgusting.
Oh, hey, there's fish that don't have bones. I'm not like,
But there's no
Yeah.
cartilage.
No.
You don't understand. I mean, there's
Yes.
nothing there's not a musculature that's being revealed. How is it moving?
in other words, its insides make much less sense than its outsides.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
you can
yeah,
kind of.
that's kind
I mean,
of-
other than the fact that it had fins in
Completely illogical.
completely
angles.
illogical areas, it's like, well, how is that moving? How is it alive? There's no internal organs. What in the heck was it?
So, you
unclean.
want to pick up some of my goop and give the carcass its perfume?
Much as
No.
Nobody wants to touch that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say something to the effect of, little though I respect Captain Karkin's judgment, I don't think he'd think this is perfume.
You put it in a bottle, you whip it up, and whiff. It's a whiff of it.
Yeah. Nobody. Yeah. It's.
No,
I'd rather not handle it myself.
No. Okay, if you really want to do that,
No,
what you do is you collect a sample of it. It is probably of sufficient.
Somebody's got sample jars.
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
I do among other people.
You collect a sample jar of it, and you ask me to enchant it so that to Karkin it smells like roses.
Oh,
and
that
to
would be
Karkin
very,
and only
very
to
cruel.
Karkin.
That would be very, very cruel, and I don't think I'll bother. Tempting though to fall
So
in.
eventually, the bubbling and the smoldering dies down, and you can make it past without stepping in the remains. There's
Right.
still a pool of grayish,
Let's keep moving then. 'cause
whatever the heck that is.
We announced our presence here, okay?
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah,
I understand. the
that was not a
accent.
silent explosion, and
That
the
was-
burning made sound too.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was not
However-
Mention the smell.
There was no like scream or anything from the creature
Right.
That we heard.
that you heard.
Yeah.
Yes.
So once we get by, we gotta keep moving, as we might scare the vampire away.
And I'm pretty sure anything down the corridor from this is going to smell what you just did.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they think that they're a vampire, they probably think that they're nigh indestructible by now.
Yeah,
Probably.
but they've run into this thing and may have some idea how indestructible it is.
So yes, it is
Yeah.
possible we have worried our target. I
Yeah.
believe
All right.
Well, let's keep
quickly.
moving.
Keep moving.
Yep.
Keep moving. Everybody make an alertness roll, please.
Legendary.
Wow.
Back down.
Legendary.
Epic. Oh no, excuse me, fantastic.
Awe-inspiring.
Ooh. Rolled
Whoa.
really well, huh?
Yep.
Rolled a +4.
Yep.
It must not matter much.
Okay, everybody who made fantastic or better notices that off in the distance, it was masked by Mr. Slappy, but now you're hearing sort of a slithering sound more. Sort of a,
Snake on stone.
maybe? I don't know exactly how to describe it. It's sort of a rough, like dragging, slithering kind of a sound.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's wonderful. Basilisk, dragon, giant snake. Ooh. All that means is that somebody's going to get a lot of alligator shoes.
I don't think it's alligator. They
No,
sound
it's not
differently.
alligator.
Nor said alligator boots.
But you know, dragon boots.
Dragons don't
Suitcases.
exist.
Oh, that's right. I
Suitcases.
never finished this book, did I?
That'd be cool.
This-
No, you didn't.
What is this?
Oh, I dumped Pop into my book at one point.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
This is.
Would you like to use the internet to look up whatever
I got a
picture,
knife.
whatever?
And a knife. I need one.
And this is why libraries do not want you to take uncovered beverages into them.
Yes. All right. So,
That's not what it was. That's good. That's wrong.
oh, that's the adult.
Isn't it? No.
Why do they look so different?
I made a mistake.
Point of view?
Bardic license.
Yeah, the one has way too many tentacles, doesn't it?
Yeah, this has way too many tentacles.
Well,
That is what it's supposed to look like.
well, you know, you
That
got
one's
the,
got a bad hair. Well,
well, you
bad
got the
tentacle
tadpole
vein.
and the frog, right? I mean, they look way different. Neither is the spectrum as the other.
Anyway. So we continue on for a ways. And you are past what seems like normal limestone mining. Yeah, except not nearly as big as that. You go down a very steep incline. It levels out a bit,
Yeah.
and that it's like except it's maybe 6 feet wide
Oh,
but about 20 feet long.
A baby one.
It's a baby one. So it's like a big, huge worm, but with tentacles coming out of the front of it,
So like a sea lamprey, not a sea.
I guess.
it doesn't look natural either.
No.
Nothing that you see starting just past that skull in the floor is going to look natural.
And this is the wrong color.
Other than the
It is not, the tentacles are not the color that the tentacles are here. It's
Uh-huh.
much more like the body color is the same as the
Uh-huh.
tentacle color.
Okay.
Okay.
And if you see this,
Uh-huh.
that is what it looks like,
Okay.
not this. It doesn't have
So
vast numbers of tentacles coming from all over the
a
place.
worm
It's-
with tentacles at the front.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Okay.
as I said, it's maybe 6 feet wide and 20 feet long.
That does not look like it belongs.
Once again,
there.
it's this weird grayish
Mhm.
color that it should not be. There's nothing that should be alive and be this color.
There's not much that's dead and should be that.
Well,
color.
maybe.
Well, after a little bit of time, maybe.
Yeah, I mean things can be that color and dead.
Mhm.
You've seen stuff that color
Yeah.
dead.
It's never been fun.
Take out,
Um,
pull out gun, aim, fire.
Or try.
Shoot him with the arcane ring on.
the arcane ring hand. Okay.
So I got guy like +1.
What kind of gun were you firing at it? Just
Does it
45.
matter?
Mechanically, no, but
Yeah.
I'm still curious.
Okay.
No, it's not the one I keep visible
Mm.
because I don't want to show that I have a American Colt 45 being worn by Lennon.
Ah,
Is the big worm thing going to care? Who are you showing?
no, that's the point
I'm
of
not
curiosity.
keeping it. I mean, I'm not going to be using it normally, but in this case, I don't mind using it because I don't think anyone's going to care.
All right, it was godlike +1, did you say?
Mhm.
And arcane. You're
Mhm.
using your arcane hand.
Mhm.
Okay.
This thing has a silencer on it, so it's not super loud.
And I'd like to go full defense because I'm not fully trusting that something like that uses the normal senses.
Interesting. If I'm using the shotgun or the Nagant or Tommy gun, it'll be both blessed and arcane. Because you're I got one of each.
And it's a two-handed
It is a
weapon.
two-handed weapon.
Well, you can, yeah.
Yeah, it appears to have injured it slightly.
Any reaction beyond?
It's like
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, it's moving its head and trying to figure out where that came from.
Okay.
Yeah, it has no idea.
Attack and attack
Okay,
without
another
breaking.
incendiary grenade.
Okie dokie.
Well, that's not fair.
But you're aiming for a hex.
Yeah, your target is mediocre.
Oh, well, then made it.
Throw explosive into target zone using weapon skill versus a target of mediocre. So you move
fair,
to within a
yeah,
zone
right
of
where
it. You
you
had to do that. Everybody had to
Yep.
move
Yep.
with you.
Toss.
Yes.
I feel like I'm in Hunt Python.
Yes.
Only I don't
Right
know what
after-
one of those is yet.
The Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch.
Yeah. So right after he shoots, he can tell us all trying his grenade.
No, I think
or
this is
something
actually
like
the
that.
Mystic Grenade of Merlin.
5 is right out.
Yes.
The counting shall not be 3 unless you proceed immediately unto 4. 5 is right out.
I suspect at some point I may get
Um,
a composure track.
Okay. A little hard to follow these arrows, but I believe it landed in its zone.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
And then I rolled a -1
Mm-hmm.
with 2 dice,
Mm-hmm.
which says all characters, player and non-player, take their turn, eventually returning to the thrower's turn.
Ah, fire.
Okay.
Still in the explosive zone.
We aren't.
We aren't.
And it
What did it do?
and it,
On its
Okay,
turn.
well, yeah. What would it do?
it didn't. I made an attack, but I'm stealth, so I can't detect it.
As I recall, the creatures coming from there weren't known for their extreme intellect.
Looking at this, I mean, it looks like a big worm. Worms are not especially smart.
Uh-huh.
You are correct.
Might have
It
known
might
their-
have
Is there
tried
some
to-
conclusion you're drawing from this?
It might have tried to swallow it.
Ah,
Might have.
yes, if it decides this might be food, we wouldn't mind that happening at all.
So, you are 2 zones away from it now. Because
Yes.
you were 1 zone away from it, and then you moved back a zone.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
But it's... All right. It is rushing forward down the corridor. It doesn't know where that came from, but it thinks it came from that direction, the thing that just landed near it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to rush that direction. It's not attacking, but
It's
We're
rushing
in the
it's
Hold
rushing
on.
towards you, and it fills most of the corridor.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure what to do about that, because it can't see you, but it's not avoiding you either.
Is there such a thing as a bull rush or something like that?
Well, I can.
Except that it's not doing a purposeful attack because it
So
doesn't know you're
it's
there.
not even
So
doing a
it would be a
purposeful
bull rush
maneuver.
at mediocre.
This game doesn't have bull rush.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
really have a charge,
Okay.
you know, like a shield
I
charge or
had
anything.
asked
Mm.
that.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, no, that's not. It's not. It doesn't work that
It's
way.
still at a base of mediocre because it really doesn't know what
So-
it is attacking, right?
The
Right.
question is, how far did it get?
5 zones.
I see.
Well, it's sprinting, and for
It's
that,
sprinting.
Okay.
it got 5 zones.
So
Okay,
we
okay.
should jump
Well,
there.
it 2 zones because of the way we're doing. Well, it's not a running thing, but I suppose it goes 2 zones
Okay, but it at least goes to us. and
because the new
probably
running
go
rules
further.
you came up with, it goes 2 zones,
So,
even though it's inhuman and
Huge.
huge. I don't think there's any exceptions for being inhuman and huge.
So we really need to.
Everybody make an athletics roll to get out of the way. It's not impossible, but this
If we
huge
just
thing
move-
is rushing in your general direction.
And to some degree, the correct answer is to just backpedal fast enough.
the thing is, though, this thing is not made out of gelatinous material like the last one.
Probably not.
It's large and this is same gray color.
Oh, the same gray color.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I'm moving backwards.
Okay.
I was going to just punch it, but I don't think I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Punch it in the tentacles is rarely the right idea.
The
Right,
other yeah, I mean the
athletics.
other thing had fins. This has tentacles and something mouth-like at the front, but it doesn't have the teeth that might have appeared on that picture if it had shown it properly.
Good.
I did fantastic. So
Great, plus any bonus for being human spider.
Question is, do
Are
we
you
forward
running
this
up the
or-
wall?
If that is the
That would
closest.
definitely get you out of the way because it does not go up to the ceiling.
Would also break stealth since I think
still
the rest
within
of
the
us
zone.
are gone.
Still within the zone
okay.
of Jack.
Okay.
That's the thing you need to be.
Yeah, I think up the wall
If-
really makes sense for her.
If
Sure.
necessary, Epic, if I can work to drag somebody along a little bit. If they look like they're falling behind.
Sure. If there's somebody who looks like Well, okay, you're running backwards is what your
Yeah, I think that's
reaction
basically
is?
what we're doing, yeah.
We're
Yeah, that's
retreating
my
the
reaction,
direction
yeah.
we came.
Don't count me out yet. That brings me up to
Yeah, you
superb.
can dodge to the wall, you can climb up the wall to the ceiling, you can move backwards. Though it looks like it's not going to slow down or stop, so you might be running for a long time.
Yeah, well, I'm having the faint hope that when the grenade goes off, this thing is long enough that it's still within the grenade zone.
It's a zone long and moves
Okay.
through zone.
Okay.
So I'm actually gonna flatten against the wall, not running
Okay.
backwards.
Okay.
All right.
I was thinking
Yeah.
of flattening
If somebody
against the
else,
wall, but I
then if
don't
somebody
want
does
to
move
deliberately
backwards,
break
they are moving out of Jack's zone.
If I see Jack flattening against the wall, I'll flatten against the wall too.
All right.
I
In
had
a way, I'm
already
flattening
thought-
against the wall.
You're
a
just
different
flattening
wall.
against
Just a different
higher
wall.
up on the wall. Yeah.
All right.
It's just a different part of the wall,
That
yes.
was,
Squeezing
that
into
was
a
a
cranny,
good athletics
thinking
roll for
flat
me,
thoughts.
although I could roll a fate point if it looks likely to save me from consequences.
Good is good enough
Okay.
to get out of the way of
Yeah.
the big worm thing.
Yeah. I'm just flattening myself against the wall so as not to touch it or be touched by it.
You're kind of in combat now. So there's not
Okay.
much combat going on. I'm
Still,
just going to let you guys decide what you're doing. Yeah, that was your defense roll against the worm thing
Yeah.
rushing at you.
Precious.
Well, I'm pulling another incinerating grenade and I'm gonna throw it as it goes by.
So you're going to throw it ahead
Throw
of it.
it down the corridor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So one's going to go off back over there, and one's going to go off over there, and it's going to be in between.
All right. Make another roll.
Yeah, emphasis on make.
Don't roll -4. I mean, -4 would be a bad roll right now. You drop it at your own feet.
Yeah, remember your target for this is mediocre.
That's a good thing because I got average.
Okay then.
Conditions to throw the
Look at
grenade
it as
past it.
having an opportunity to get all those bad rolls out of the way. If only statistics worked that way.
Yeah. Lots might work that way, but don't count on a lot.
Okay.
I had a meeting with a guy today. We're dealing with NPS, right? 0 to 10 scale.
Okay.
All the good scores were even numbers, 8 and 10. All of the bad scores were odd numbers, 1, 3, and 5.
What?
Interesting.
That sounds like an artifact of how you're collecting of the questions you're asking to generate the numbers.
No, it's one question. How likely are you to recommend? One question. 1, 3, 5 are the bad numbers. 8 and 10 are the good ones.
Right.
So, full charge.
So, explosive explodes down the corridor. It doesn't
Do anything.
do anything.
Because there's
Makes a
nothing
bright
in that
light,
zone.
smoke, and
So now there's another thing that's up there. And I'm going to keep rushing down the corridor. So, I'm too stupid to understand that that's an explosive.
Yes, I'm just
No.
going to try and not have any contact with it as it goes rushing by.
Right.
I'm thinking flat thoughts.
All right. Blah, blah, blah. Explosive explodes.
So you can Windows 10.
All right.
I hate Windows 10. It's so flat.
So,
It's really flat.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Through that, I was there. I moved another 2. But my rear end is still, I believe, within the zone of the explosion.
So I'm giving it an incendiary grenade suppository.
Right. So this is kind of interesting. You blew off the back half of it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the entire rear half is burning, but the rest of it is
He's
moving,
still rushing.
rushing down the corridor. You didn't kill it,
That's fine.
but it's not coming back. It's just going to keep going until it can't go anymore.
In
And that's
other
a long.
words-
You've been going a long time. It's a long way down that corridor. You know that.
In other words, it is not smart enough to notice its ass is on fire.
Well, it doesn't have an ass anymore. It's
Yeah.
not part of it. There's
Yeah.
like a big.
It
There's
is
like 10
definitely-
feet of worm.
It is definitely part worm.
Absolutely. You cut a worm in two,
Yeah,
it doesn't die. That's what you did. You basically burned the back half of it off.
Wow.
Once again, anybody who's not got a gas mask on or wearing an environmental suit,
Have my gas mask on.
Yeah. You did not take it
it's
off
that
after the
same
last
it's that same thing where there's no internal organs, there's no muscles, there's no bones. There wouldn't be for a worm.
Yeah.
But worms have internal organs. This
Yes,
thing
they
doesn't
do.
appear to. It had some sort of, I mean, if you're studying it carefully, you can see that it had an alimentary canal. That was the most internal organ thing it
I
had.
don't know that.
If you're gonna start looking up its butt. My wife
Probably
says
not.
this game is gross.
Well, when we're dealing with slimy
We're
eldritch
dealing with
horrors, yeah.
Cthulhu's mythos. Of course, it's going to be gross.
Anyway, if anybody wants to make an academics aided by mysteries roll or not,
Sure.
you don't have mysteries.
I actually can get a bonus from that.
I've forgotten how to tie my shoe.
-3.
There.
Just enough to cancel out the
Uh,
aided by
Superb is good
mystery
enough.
so good.
Academics aided by mysteries epic.
All right. Superb. This, while having the general form of a Chthonian, is not a Chthonian because Chthonians have internal organs. So yes, epic. This is probably a spawn of Abhoth. Abhoth is similar to Shub-Niggurath in that it spawns off things.
Critters.
Sounds like
Yeah.
Loki. Almost every one of his children was a monster.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
don't
but they-
come from his body. They don't sprout from him.
It
Yes.
isn't.
Abhoth is maybe vaguely yeast-like, mitosis-like.
Mitosis-like. I'm
yes.
wondering, yeast-like?
Mitosis.
Oh, yes.
Yes, reproduces by mitosis. It's not quite.
But it doesn't reproduce more. Well, it can reproduce more Abhoth-like objects. But what it does is create things of
It-
various sorts.
It
Like the
buds
two
off-
things you've seen.
Its
It buds off
tumors become
stuff.
creatures.
Yeah.
Let's hurry up and kill this thing before it keeps throwing more crap at us.
Okay.
All
Well, I
right.
think before it throws more crap at us is difficult because we've not actually. This is probably all stuff that's been here for 100 years.
No, not anymore.
Well, half of one of them is
Half
still
of one of them is
down here.
going to be interesting to see. Where we may have to deal with it on the way back.
Yeah, we may have to.
Hopefully by then the air will have cleared a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
So rather than chasing the
The
blindly
fleeing
charging
worm.
that way, half a worm,
We're going
we
that
will
way.
continue the
Mhm.
way we were going.
Yes.
Okay.
What will happen is eventually it'll run into the brick wall.
Right.
Pardon me, revolving door.
And the
unless
thing
it
is-
happens to hit the pressure plate, it'll be running into a brick wall.
That's going to slow it down. How much?
I don't know.
It has to be. It will be its might.
it's a 10-foot long, 6-foot wide thing.
It's not its might that I'm counting.
It's mass.
It's
Mass.
it's energy.
It's definitely going to be able to knock
It's
down a
momentum,
3-box brick wall.
Yeah,
But you take
and not noticed by much.
you take a cement truck and drive into a brick wall. It's gonna hurt the cement truck too.
This isn't that.
If
It's
I take
too
a cement
squishy.
truck, if I take a cement truck and run it into an interior brick wall, no, it's not going to hurt the cement truck a whole lot. And that's what
Dent
we
the
want.
grill. But
It'll
yeah.
dent the grill. And I'm under the impression that what we ran into was basically an interior brick wall.
Yeah.
It
It was not. I mean,
It was
there
not
to
a
stop
struct-
people.
It was not a structural wall,
Yeah.
it was a curtain wall.
If
Yeah, it
you
might trigger the
take
It would certainly trigger the trap once it knocked that wall down.
Mm-hmm.
Might notice that. I don't think it would
I don't
notice the
think
brick
it
wall,
would
but I.
notice
I can tell you that that trap was not arcane, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Still might pin it though.
Yeah.
For a little while,
All right.
maybe a round or two.
Continuing on. Everybody makes another alertness roll.
Okay.
Oh, I think I'm going to notice something this time.
Fantastic.
Awe-inspiring.
Superb.
So, fantastic and better is hearing. Excuse me.
Worse.
Some
the
sort
same
of
sort of
sucker
slappy
type
noises,
thing.
but slower.
Yeah. Before it was because there are all these fins that were slapping along the wall and being used, but this is more like a much slower.
So could
Kind of like something more amorphous, but maybe having something vaguely resembling, acting like it has something vaguely resembling the structure that's going boom, 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 coming down the wall.
Maybe. So, all right, you're going along, and there's like just a drop off. It's not that far, maybe 10 feet to a lower area.
Okay, so is it all is going along, all goes like that, and then continues?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like the wall is very rough, probably climbable.
Okay.
Absolutely climbable, by the way.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody could climb that.
I don't.
Not even a
say-
challenge.
I don't. I might say it doesn't look like much of a challenge to me, but I don't generally say that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in other words, Annie knows that she's a well above average climber.
Yes.
Well, I can get across by crawling along the wall. I'm
Crawling down the wall. You're going.
Yeah.
You're going
We're not going to have any choice.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
could-
Down
Anybody
the
could
way.
jump down there too. I mean, any of you. Well, it would probably be easier if you just hung from the edge and then dropped,
Well,
and that would be
A 4 foot.
a 4-foot drop. Nobody's going to take damage from a 4-foot drop.
Sure.
Right.
But I
But
will
if
go
we-
to the edge and
we're gonna
look
climb.
down.
Yeah,
We're gonna
first
climb down.
we're going to look down and
Yeah.
try and see what we can see in the
Like is
in that area right there.
So, looking from up here,
Uh-huh.
you really aren't seeing anything down there.
right.
Okay.
we're
However,
only
you're
seeing
pretty
half
sure
the
that
floor
not
right
too
at the
far
bottom.
past there is where that
Where that sound is coming from.
Oh, yeah.
well, we have to crawl. We have to climb down together, otherwise people
Right,
leave
yeah.
zones.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So can I climb from the ceiling so I get a better view ahead? Well, they're.
Well, if you I mean, you could climb and then climb the wall that's over here down, and then
Okay.
So that I can scout a little bit ahead.
yeah.
Could she climb along the wall to where it becomes ceiling, and then just go along that ceiling?
Sure.
Hopefully, giving me a little bit. Of
And other people have to kind of go along at the same time, but
I
he-
think what I
he's
am
trying
doing-
to stay in the same
stay within
zone.
a zone.
Yes, I think
Yes.
what it is I'm asking them to go slow enough that I can pace.
Scout.
Sure.
All right.
and it sounds like it sounds like it's wide enough that the other four of us can do the
Yes.
Climb.
climb down of some variety.
Yeah.
Variety. Basically right next to each other all at once.
Right. Everybody make athletics rolls. Who's climbing? Yeah, that's
Presumably good is good.
good. Is good enough. Yeah. As I said, it's a very rough.
Not too difficult.
I don't think I
to
had a
climb
problem.
stone walls.
Something
Okay.
happened here at some point that
Roughen the walls.
it's some kind of a yeah. I mean
Possibly some corrosive that eats into the limestone.
no,
more than
it's more
something.
like the whole thing had some sort of fracture and the entire corridor dropped 10 feet on the other side of this area.
So there's
Well,
also-
actually, it almost seems like it's more like, for some reason, this chunk of corridor went this way, and this chunk of corridor went this way,
Something
just a
like
little
that,
bit.
yeah.
in other words, entirely plausible for a major earthquake, but if there'd been a major earthquake
People in
under
Paris would have noticed.
people would notice. Interesting.
I don't want to look at the underpinnings of reality right now. Thank you.
So,
Hopefully there are.
So what
It's,
do we
it's
see?
something you do on a regular basis.
Yeah, it is.
maybe listen for words on the wind.
since
Or,
it's a climb, it's a great
okay,
for me.
that's
Um,
well above what you need.
If good is sufficient, I cannot fail.
All right, good is sufficient to climb down this wall.
And I could, but fortunately didn't fail. I think good should be enough to
Yeah.
stay near everybody else and
So,
not break caution.
As you look
Mm-hmm.
down the corridor, another maybe another 100 feet. It looks something like that.
Oh, lovely.
You see, it has sort of a big foot,
Foot.
like a snail or something,
Yeah.
but it's not oozing along. It's sort of hopping.
We have, I don't know how to even describe it, but it hops.
And that's what's making that sound. You can hear it making that sort of wet, slappy sound as it hops.
And it's utterly
It has
unnatural
arms.
looking.
Yes, it is utterly unnatural looking and a very unnatural shade of gray as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Another grenade.
How many of those did you bring?
6.
Okay, good for you.
Okay, so again, we want to be within a zone of it.
Okay,
then
what the
retreat.
heck is? That's not what it looks like. It doesn't have legs. So yeah, this has legs apparently.
Yeah.
The thing you're looking at does not have a leg like this. It's just got that.
I was thinking
foot
that
body.
was sort of just skin flaps.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's apparently supposed to be legs, but moon beasts don't have legs.
Yeah.
As far as I know. Anyway, but yeah, it looks like this except without the leg, and it's sort of hopping.
Right.
But it has these tentacles. It's got 2 arms.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't appear to have any eyes.
Are the
It's got a mouth.
Yes. The hand-like members look sort of clawed.
And with 3 claws.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So how big does this one appear to be?
Man-sized.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's smaller than
You could more easily get past this one than any of the other things that have. Yeah, I mean you could avoid it if you wanted to, but we are throwing an
Stick of
incendiary grenade.
No, I saved my grenades. I'll throw a stick of dynamite.
Oh.
Okay.
From the same hand.
Well, yeah.
It's now arcane dynamite.
Right. I'm just a
I'm
little
going to
worried about
retreat
wall and
because-
ceiling stability.
yeah.
You think it's gonna be okay? I'll look at the ceiling first to see if I think it'll take a dynamite explosion.
That's the point. He's got enough engineering knowledge. That's
Okay, I got
Take
a
good look at this
epic.
limestone and see how much
All right. So
limestone you expect it to
you're
look like. It
you're
looks like.
examining the corridor.
Mhm.
It definitely it definitely is cracked. Whatever it was that shifted the thing damaged this whole section badly.
Mhm.
Like something really, some sort of convulsion occurred in here. You're thinking It's going to do something. It's probably going to bring down part of the ceiling.
Okay, but,
You, on the other hand, are Jack and could dig your way through whatever it is that happens.
but a grenade wouldn't do that.
An incendiary grenade would not do that.
Yeah, okay. back
There's
to-
a different kind of grenade that would do that.
Yes, I have those too. Incendiary grenade it is.
I am curious for Annie's opinion on the limestone also. Having her sign this question.
Did you roll below mediocre?
Yes,
What?
I did.
Well, you can't be great at everything.
So
That's
Annie,
why he wanted you to do it.
Okay.
So Annie could roll on my questions.
What was the question?
Failure is not an option.
The
Okay.
limestone?
So,
So,
now
how
I am
much
at
does
average.
this limestone look like you would expect limestone to look like?
Does this look like real limestone?
Yeah.
Well,
And if
no,
not,
actually-
how has it been?
Oh,
How does it look different?
I actually rolled mediocre.
Oh, mediocre's the target.
Yeah, I didn't need to do that. Yeah, yes, I
It
rolled.
says it right here. Throw explosive into target zone using weapon skill versus a target of mediocre.
Oh, I did it then. Cool.
Explosive lands in target zone. Are you aware of a live explosive in your zone?
Well, since I'm at stealth, probably not.
Well, but the
The
thing is not
thing
stealthed
isn't-
anymore once you've thrown it. You've thrown it out of your zone.
True. Well, all my attacks.
Unfortunately, this guy is not especially smart.
Ah,
I
Right
don't
here.
consider that unfortunate.
Unfortunately for this guy,
Yeah.
he's not especially smart.
okay.
So, yes. Explosive explodes. No. Yes, this thing, same terrible acrid smoke, same, hey, this thing doesn't seem to have any internal organs or bones or anything.
Now that I have a firelight to examine it,
Yes.
does the limestone look like normal?
Make a
Rock.
science roll.
Yep, I did, and it isn't chemistry. I would say this is geology, so it would be an ethic.
There's something unusual about this. Something has been acting on it. I mean, it looks like it probably started out normal limestone, but something, some radiation maybe, some extra dimensional energy, you don't know what it is, but
Used
something.
to be limestone, Simon.
And so it's not limestone right now.
It is not the rock that we call limestone any longer.
Okay. How much of its characteristics does it actually share with limestone? I use it as friable, etc.
Ah, yeah.
Get out the hammer from my splunkering kit and try
All right, you're doing some testing on
some
it.
testing on it.
Make another science roll.
And
And
meanwhile,
take
this
an extra.
creature is bubbling and
Yeah.
melting and
You have a little
smoldering and
time while
all
you're
that
waiting
fun
for the
stuff.
thing to stop smoking.
Right.
Please extinguish
So
all smoking materials.
3 time zones? Or 3 time increments? What would that be? I don't know how long you would
What's his
consider the
what's his
normal
base testing cut? What's his base time for the doing this testing?
For a full set of tests, probably a minute. I mean, you don't have a full lab here,
I
so
don't
you're not
have
doing
a
a
lab.
whole lot of stuff to it.
No.
But you are doing some testing.
testing,
Compression, fracturing.
and test hardness with coins and such.
Yeah. So 3 time increments would be 30 minutes. You don't have.
I
30
don't
minutes.
want to spend 30
If
minutes.
you take 4 minutes, that's about how long it's going to take for that thing to stop smoking.
Which would be how many time increments?
one?
1.
You get a +1
Okay.
for time.
Well, it's a little bit outside my specialty.
That's true.
So that brings it to legendary.
Okay, this is behaving very differently than limestone. Limestone isn't squishy at all. This is somehow compressing in a way that
It
limestone doesn't.
compresses no rock.
In other words, it's acting more like very stiff putty than like stone in some way.
In some ways, yes.
And how much like vaguely maybe living flesh is it acting?
Not really, but
Too much for
more than a
limestone.
limestone ever should.
I'm not gonna like this.
More than any geologist would be happy about.
No, yeah, a geologist would be driven nuts by this stuff.
I'm gonna push against it and I'm gonna sense the damn stuff mystically.
Okie
I'm gonna
dokie!
regret this. I'm going to regret this. I'm going to regret this.
But
So
you're going
make a
to do it
resolve.
anyway.
Resolve roll.
Resolve roll first.
Okay, what'd you roll for your mysteries roll?
Counting my spirit of mysteries,
Yeah.
I'd like +1.
Make a resolve roll.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting that. That was why I dug those out. Yeah. Superb.
So you feel it's a 6 box, right?
Yeah. Fill your 6 box. Yeah, this is not limestone, this is not stone, this is not something from Earth. This has been acted on by an unnatural force for a century at least. Wow, this is not normal. This is not what you want to be touching. You are really unhappy that you just did what you did.
Yeah.
So unhappy.
Yeah.
So unhappy.
Simon, I can tell that
So-
wasn't fun. Did you learn anything
So,
useful?
having discovered that it is somewhat
Oh, hello.
compressible,
Yeah.
look
Hello
at
there.
where the grenade
doing
is
here, huh?
burning out.
Mm-hmm.
Get out my flashlight so I can
Ah,
All right.
is it affecting
see.
the
Is the
stone?
surface being affected
Yeah.
more
Yes.
than
Yes, it is. It's more than it should be. Limestone
The-
shouldn't burn quite like that.
the surface is burning from Jack's grenade.
So, what would happen if Jack? What would have happened if Jack had thrown a piece of dynamite instead of an incendiary grenade?
It's hard to tell.
Propulsion, I don't know if there is any sinew in it, but it isn't acting like flesh and it isn't acting like rock.
So in other words, darned if we know.
Yeah.
It is
You
outside.
are now reserving judgment. You thought that it would like collapse the tunnel if you used a
I'm no
dynamite,
longer
but
convinced
now,
of that.
well, I mean,
I am convinced I don't want to do that particular experiment.
you would need to do a bunch of tests and some math to figure out what it would
never
do.
afraid.
Actually, I have the aspect. There are some things science shouldn't do.
Well,
And you're a very poor scientist.
Yeah. Well, no. I think she picked that one up after dealing with Simon for a while.
So it's sort of, it's not that there are things that man was or woman was not meant to know, but there are things that people are not ready to know yet. It's like, here's the knowledge. Well, there's all this in between that you need to know before you get up to this. So maybe we'll wait on that until we've gotten this.
Or said another way, you have to learn how to walk before you can run.
Yeah.
You have to know how to do triple integrals before you can do flow analysis.
Something like that, yes. Anyway, so Annie is absolutely certain that given enough time and testing, she could figure out what would happen if you threw a stick of dynamite in this corridor.
Well, let's just move on, okay?
All right.
Yeah.
I'm just really glad I'm wearing this environmental suit. That's all I got to
So, continuing on.
Yep.
Yep.
Continue on for a ways, and the
Oh, hey, that's a surprise.
there's a big hole in the floor.
Is it a hole or a mouth?
It's okay. Well, I mean, it's round. It doesn't have lips.
Okay.
But as opposed to the other ones that there were like handholds or whatever, this it just drops into empty space. It looks like. And there's must be a floor down there somewhere, but it's beyond 60 feet. So it's a long drop. Well, it's not a long drop. What is it defined as? It's at least a.
Edgy.
What's the page for falling?
I got it right here.
Edgy, listen carefully. And I drop
Oops,
a python.
I'm losing the dog here.
Don't you have something?
Falling, got it right here.
Did you have a coin, maybe?
There it is.
Yeah, it's on
I've got
page
this coin that I was given
234.
Don't
right?
choose that
230.
one.
It starts in 233 and then goes.
You have another
up
coin?
I'm just looking for the
Silver
I
chart.
dollar or
have some
something?
fuse.
A silver dollar or something?
All right.
You have a
So-
silver dollar?
Probably.
Or any kind of coin?
Yeah.
A centime?
Yes, I have
Okay,
some
have a
coins.
penny.
Okay, I'm here.
Edgy, tell me when it hits. Because Edgy is
Right.
pursuing. I will also listen, but I'm mostly concerned with the count.
Right.
I don't know what the math is, but it's about 100 feet down.
Okay.
Okay.
1/2 AT squared.
1648, about 2.5 seconds.
Okay. So 1, 2.
Bang.
Ting.
I've got enough,
No, it doesn't ting. It-
Oh. It thuds.
like on something soft almost.
Yeah.
Like carpeting. Maybe not quite. But
No.
well, I guess I should say, did I hear it myself? Probably not. Good.
That's good enough.
Oh, okay. That wasn't hitting concrete or limestone or anything
No,
like
it wasn't.
It's some kind
It
of
sounds
creature.
like it was hitting.
Whatever this is that the corridor's made out of.
Yeah, only more so.
Well, I do have.
Hey, that might make the fall easier if it's softer than limestone.
Actually,
I'm
doesn't
not
matter.
sure that this will want
Land
to
on the
stand
grass.
on.
And, unless you land on a haystack and you can tag the haystack.
Well, okay. I have 100 feet of rope.
If there is a haystack at the bottom of this, I will be very surprised.
We
I can assure you there's no haystack.
We dropped a small coin
Uh-huh.
And asked you to listen for it
And then we
because you
and
had
then
the
figured
best
out
of-
how long it took to
Okay,
fall, and it
that's-
took about 100 feet to fall. And when it landed, it went not ting.
Didn't hit stone, that's for sure.
Yeah.
so we
Or unless what this corridor is made out of is stone. But
I think
It's not
Andy-
behaving like
Andy is
stone.
of the opinion it is not.
It is not
And
stone.
I
It
So-
may
watched
have at
where
one
it was
time been
smoldering.
stone, but I'm not sure.
you
of that
actually
any
think it
longer.
probably was stone at one time.
Okay.
So then we had you throw a haystack over the edge.
Yeah,
And then
I
you're gonna
have-
volunteer to jump on top of it.
If I had one handy, I would. On the other hand, I do have
Assassin's
rope.
Creed, that's the name of the game. Assassin's Creed actually is a game series
Yes,
where-
game series. Yes.
where people jump from like tall church spires into wheelbarrows filled with hay
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and
I-
survive.
Yeah.
Yep.
I only have 50 feet of rope with me, but it could certainly be pieced on to
You have
someone
100,
else's.
you
if
said?
it's
I have
useful.
100.
I have a splunkering kit,
So do I.
having spent a fate point to say I had it.
Do you have any rope with you?
Oh, yes.
It's written on the character sheet, but not all of the stuff on the character sheet gets brought with me.
So, well, Jack can tap in a piton, and then we all slide down the rope together.
Yeah.
We're all the same
100
zone.
feet of climbing rope.
Okay, well, so
All right.
got plenty of.
Everybody make athletics rolls. This is once again a very low bar, but it is above mediocre. You don't have to make this roll. You and your tattoos and rings.
I am at fair.
The Mandarin is going to hunt you down someday.
For copyright infringement?
Trademarks.
Yes, okay.
Fantastic. Because it's a climb.
It is a climbing
Yeah.
thing, yes.
Fantastic.
Your target is fair, in case anybody
Yes.
cares.
Okay.
So I look the least graceful of anybody, but I manage fine.
So, yes, you climb down 100 feet of rope.
So, yes,
However,
I guess-
before we set foot down there, we would like to take a look at what's down there.
All right, as you are descending the rope,
Yes.
Jack, do you
Investigate.
mind if I use the flashlight? Because I might want to see in the normal spectrum.
No flashlight.
Okay.
You're a
Okay.
position away.
so
Well, got both infrared.
this is a large sort of domed cavern. It's about 100 yards across.
Okay.
It is almost entirely featureless. Like the floor is flat. Except at the very center, there's a small, I don't know, I mean, it's no bigger than this. Sort of lump at the
like a
middle.
mound, but
A small mound.
Uh-huh. And other than that, it looks
The-
almost like the inside of a giant bubble.
Yes.
The floor is
Like a
smooth and
gas
flat.
bubble.
Uh-huh.
That the walls are somewhat rough. You're coming in from nearly the center of the top of the dome, but not quite. You're about, I don't know, 20 feet from the actual center. So 20 feet from where that little mound is.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. So we could swing to the mound if we wanted to, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure the mound would be a
I
safe
don't think we
landing
want
zone
to
either.
land on it. I think landing 20 feet away from it is a better bet, assuming the floor is safe to walk on. Which
Well,
I'm
it
not.
hasn't absorbed the coin yet, I'm assuming.
The coin is just laying there.
Okay, that's a good sign. As
So
far
it
as
doesn't
goes.
eat through metal immediately.
Yes. You are
That,
correct.
that
Okay.
does come under could be worse.
Make a mysteries roll.
Can I ask a question first?
You made your roll to climb down the rope.
Okay. The spirit of applies.
Yeah.
Epic.
Holy fuck!
Not
Like that whole floor. Holy fuck! Oh, by the way, there is also way over there one of those sort of,
One of those
Archways.
arches with
Archways.
rubber sticks.
but it's only about 4 feet high.
Ah,
So you wouldn't have to crawl, but you'd have to at least crouch way down to make your way through that.
meanwhile, is there something about the floor we should know?
You have
Simon
mysteries?
Simon looks at, well, yes. I can.
So anything more specific than holy shit?
It's like the whole floor is something that you don't want to look at anymore. The whole floor, like the whole thing.
Right, I definitely don't know even as much as Simon knows, and I'm possibly happier for it.
Guys,
Yeah?
how tall is that? How tall were the rest of those arches?
About human height.
Something is filling this floor to,
Oh.
To
and
So,
it's
like-
not nice. It is not nice.
In
It is
other
very,
words-
very, 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 very not nice.
So you have not made it to the floor yet.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, that arch would be normal if there weren't roughly 2 feet thick of something on the
about
floor.
3.5
Yeah, about
feet.
3.5 feet.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
So,
That's what I think. Yeah.
and there's nothing else in this room, in this
the
chamber.
mound.
Other than that.
There's
Yeah,
that
the
mound.
floor is flat.
So yes, there's the related question of where's the vampire?
Well,
Yeah, I
it's
would
either
have-
underneath this goop, underneath this floor, or walk out that doorway.
Well, it might be where the mound is.
The mound.
The mound, yeah, there's a mound. It's about like
20 feet away.
yeah, it's not especially high.
Would it be the right height for a human of ordinary height standing on the real floor and then
It,
3.5
you aren't
feet
sure where the
whatever?
real floor is, but it's a possibility.
Well, guesstimating where the
From
real
the
floor is would be
house.
based on the based
Yeah.
on the size of that arc.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I want to take my rope. I'm going to make a lasso, and I'm going to.
Oh, try and lasso the mound and see
Mhm.
what happens.
Well,
Yeah.
we're
Sure, why
hanging
not?
from a rope.
Okay, I believe that's a weapons roll.
Unless I want to have you do it.
It's up to you, dude. If
No
I do
stealth.
it, I break stealth.
That's right.
But it's gonna
Depending
be
on
pretty
what it
obvious
is, you
that-
might be breaking stealth anyway. Not sure.
It's gonna be pretty obvious that there's a lasso and
Okay.
a rope.
Yeah, but he won't know where it's really going. Okay, well, I got fair. It's not dodging, right?
It's not dodging. It landed on top of the mound. Yeah.
So I'm using might.
It doesn't catch on the mound.
Like the mound is fairly smooth.
It's
and
smooth and
Round.
sloped.
And you need
It's
to get a
like
better
you
roll.
would need a better roll to actually get it to catch on
Okay.
there.
Try one more time.
We don't want to touch this floor. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what I heard.
That
That's what I heard.
sounded like
I really don't want to. I don't swear that touching the floor will be quickly
bad,
fatal,
but you have a bad feeling about it.
but I have a really bad feeling about it. Yes.
Okay, well, that's at the moment good, which is a lot better. But I'm going to say it's never easy, especially when I'm throwing ropes. So now it's superb.
Okay. Yes, it lands encircling the bottom of that mound, and it's now kind of it's caught on the mound itself, and you're pulling on it.
Does
So-
it move the mound or does it swing us toward it?
Make a might roll.
Okay, so
Take this
I am
slowly,
actually
please.
going to then wrap the rope around an arm and grab.
This is not considered inanimate. Let me tell you that.
I'm going to wrap the rope around my arm and then grab the cliff face. and
There's
then-
no cliff face.
We're
You're
hanging
dangling from a rope
Lowered from a dome.
like 50 yards away from a wall.
Yeah. Remember, dome like this, center,
Oh.
20 feet. It's 100. It's like
We're
100
hanging
feet.
from the ceiling.
Yes.
Okay, hanging from the ceiling. Okay.
Your current your current weakest point is that python
No.
up there.
Now, Annie could have climbed the ceiling down to the floor, but
But
you're not
then I'd
near.
be out of.
Yeah, you'd be out of touch.
Okay.
So,
I got epic, which means I think I'm gonna bump it up because I don't think it's gonna be good enough.
Well, okay. I will point out that
Is
your weakest point is that python up there.
in physics class, we sometimes demonstrate with a bowling ball and a thread end what breaks when you apply hammer.
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, why don't we? Okay,
Okay.
so we need to know how tough that python is. Make an engineering roll for how well you pounded that thing in there.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
it's strength
okay.
to do it, but to
Okay.
get it in a way that's as strong as possible, you're going to have to make that engineering roll. I'm assuming that you wanted to make it as strong as possible so that having 5 people on the rope didn't pull it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you had to have everybody on the rope at the same time.
Okay.
Plus, it's 100 feet of rope.
Best there is. So now it would be fantastic.
All right, so fantastic is how well that python is going to hold.
placed. Yeah. Okay.
And you know that. Are you going if you feel more than a fantastic pull, back, are you going to let go of the rope?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You're not going to let it pull you to the ground. All right. So, all right. Your roll was epic, and then you bumped it by 2. Is that what you did for your strength, for your might? I believe you said it was epic, and that wasn't enough, so you're going to spend a fate point.
Yeah, I did spend a fate point.
And it wasn't a reroll; it was a +2.
It was a +2.
All right. So epic, awe-inspiring.
Which is more than the
It's
rope
pulling back
pulls.
harder than fantastic. You start pulling on it, and then it sort of swells and pulls back. Like the mound itself is alive.
Yeah, I'm letting the rope slip through my fingers.
All right. Yeah, it just sort of pulls back. It doesn't run away or anything.
Okay.
I think we're in combat now.
Yeah. I'm so surprised.
Because you're attacking it in a way that it's responding to. It knows there's something there. I mean, it doesn't know
Okay.
you're there. It can't see you, but it can certainly feel that lasso pulling on it.
Yeah. So weirdness.
It would be nice if its awareness is so diffused that it's going last, but I greatly doubt it. I rolled mediocre.
Um,
8,
So
4, 3.
I go first.
okay. I go second. You go third. Who's
Rick.
Me.
4, 3, something below 3.
0.
Considering my base was superb,
Whoa. Threw it out.
it's that I'm using science to predict its movements.
Wow.
That didn't work
might
as
be a
well.
problem.
No, it did not. So, what the heck? Well, it's a good thing that the rope that I'm dissolving isn't dodging, I guess. This is not special rope, right?
No.
No.
Okay. I sort of envelop the rope and dissolve it. So the lasso part, the circular lasso part is gone, and you can, the rope is just gone. That's what I do.
You might want to drop it because it's contaminated.
Yeah, the contamination is 20 feet
money.
away from Jack. I mean,
Check the
I'm
end
just
carefully
mentioning-
for any ooze.
All right,
stuff,
twos.
at least.
Don't
Yeah,
know
that-
the
that-
reaction that you normally do.
that thing is I mean, you don't know how much of the floor is alive, but that mound just reacted in a alive sort of way.
I'm personally convinced that there's 4 feet of alive sitting on top of
A stone floor.
On top of a stone
Or
floor.
a large
Why?
value of sigma as far as life.
Yeah.
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 Something something that has some sort of awareness and eats things.
It doesn't have the life processes we're familiar with. I'm pretty certain.
No, it probably has life processes we don't want to be familiar with.
Are we going to be willing to break stealth, people?
Gonna have to.
If it seems
Okay.
in combat useful, yes.
Okay. You've got one of the arcane rings. You've got one of the arcane rings.
Yes.
There's one
Yes,
more.
Annie.
I think Annie has it. Okay.
Complete fantasy hocus pocus.
Yes. I'm going to suggest that the three of you light a stick of dynamite, hold it in the hand with the arcane ring, and toss it at the mound.
Well,
That
Three
is your action.
simultaneous-
That is my action.
Suggestion.
That is my
Yes.
action.
well, I was going to take out a stick of dynamite and throw it at the mound anyway. So
You might want to coordinate that.
well, that means I have to hold my action for 3,
hers.
4, 5 to yours. So it kind of does work.
Well, you also would have to hand me a stick.
We only have 2.
Oh well, then we're gonna 3 use 2, I guess.
I guess we'll throw 2.
And I'm going to do the engineering of how dangerous is it to throw those sticks of dynamite?
And probably the answer you'll
Oh.
get, considering the properties of the stone,
I get
is
good in my
damned
weapons
if I
throw.
know.
Yes, we're
Okay.
throwing simultaneously. I'm just, down to 1.
All right. So exactly what is happening here? Somebody has dynamite and they're passing it out.
We two.
Oh, you
have
two each have dynamite.
And
Each
you
have
both are close at hand.
You both have close at hand, so you've got the dynamite in hand and you've got your
Ring.
lighter in hand.
Yes.
One
How,
detail.
how
Yeah.
do you?
Annie,
Yes.
do you have a match?
You don't have anything to light your dynamite, or she
I'm
doesn't.
holding on to a rope.
Rope.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
you can hold on to it with an arm and 2 legs.
Well, that is easy enough. If that's easy, well, yeah, we've got the abilities to do it. And yes, I've got a lighter.
All right.
Yep.
So both the dynamite and lighter are close at hand, so that doesn't take an action. They're both considered weapons if you have close at hand.
And anything goes.
Lighting the dynamite
Supplemental action.
is a supplemental action,
And then a throw.
and then remembering that you get a -1 for you doing a supplemental action, you throw the dynamite.
Okay.
So the 2 of you are doing this
Yeah.
Yes.
this round. So
Yes.
that was 3 and 4, I assume then.
Yes.
And you, what was your throw roll? Your
Well,
weapon.
it was going to be fair.
But
Okay.
you
I mean,
reconsider
it was
the
good, but then I
minus-
might forget the -1.
-1,
Because
alright.
The fair is probably not good enough. So I'm going to use a Shadow Jack does not fail. And
I
bump it
am
up
going to
to
try
great.
and steady the rope because there were several rapid actions and
Well, something weird just happened. People are like reacting to that. Yes.
yes. So I think that trying to steady the rope
Okay.
might be a good idea.
When we get to you, you're going to be making an athletics roll.
Mm-hmm.
That would be as soon as the explosives go off, maybe. So,
Are these, I assume, short fuses then?
yes.
Okay.
Great.
All right. And what was your weapons roll?
Fantastic.
Is that with the -1?
That's with the -1.
Okay. Are you both trying to throw? Where are you trying to throw? Like
The mound.
the mound. You're both
The mound.
aiming at the mound.
Yep.
Okie dokie.
If the mound runs away, I'm going to be a little
It
irritated.
just moved. It just like shifted back and then dissolved the rope that was
Yeah.
encircling it. So
It has some capability of movement. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And an ability to
all
defend
right.
it.
So short 1. Throw a weapon to the target zone using weapon skill versus mediocre. You both
Exceeded that.
exceeded that, and it's essentially a zone away. It's like 20 feet away. So it's within your throwing distance. Explosive lands in target zone. I don't know what. Do I know what that is? I know what that is. But does it know what that is?
Yeah.
Throw it up and do
Could
it.
it make an acrobatic
Yes.
roll?
Everyone in the target zone. Which is well, I can't get clear. I can't. I literally. I can't get clear. The
The
mound.
thing
mount. Well,
The mound is
The stuff.
the stuff
cannot get clear.
cannot get clear. So I'll treat it as a no, I guess.
Darn.
What is the loot number? The loot number is 1. I rolled a +1.
So explosive explodes. No. That is not true. This part. So both of them land basically at the mound. There's a huge explosion, and so now there's a big depression where the mound was.
I'm hoping.
It's a guy standing there.
No, there's not a guy standing there.
I'm hoping that this took out the vampire.
Well, you don't see a vampire anymore.
Right.
Or a
See a
mound.
vampire before.
You didn't see a vampire
We just
before.
suspected
Right.
There might be a completely engulfed vampire.
I couldn't really. I mean, it's just very strange. Is what's happening. It's
Yeah.
like I said. There's now a big depression where the
Right.
mound used to be.
Any reaction?
Well, okay. It has to wait.
Yeah.
It's not my turn. 5. You were going to steady the rope. Make
Yep.
an athletics roll.
Okay. We're gonna move it up. Yes, I know.
A lot of negatives there.
It's a -1. I don't think that's quite enough. Flexibility is the key,
Yeah.
which would then bring it to superb.
Okay. You do a superb job of steadying the rope.
Mm-hmm.
That was 5. 6s.
What are you doing, Edgy?
Yeah, I
Says if
think.
he's vampires there or not. These mysteries to see if the vampire's still there.
Or
Investigate if the vampire's
investigate. Do you see bloodstains in amongst the rubble?
That, or it may not be rubble, but yes,
Take
I
your
will,
you
I
can
will
take your turn to
examine
investigate that
the
area. There isn't
crater
really
closely.
rubble.
But
Amongst the whatever there.
yes, this will be primarily visual, and I rolled decently. I am torn on whether or not to use Spirit of Inquiry. This would be, I don't know if I want to know that.
That sounds
No,
pretty cowardly.
this is a spirit.
You are inquiring.
You are
Yes,
inquiring.
I
You're
am.
using the spirit of inquiry.
I-
Kind of like I'm stuck using spirit of mysteries in this one.
Yeah. Okay, so that is godlike for visual investigation.
There are fragments of a human body.
Okay.
It looks like a body that has been hit by 2 sticks of dynamite.
Uh-huh. So I will
So there's
say
not much left, as
I
you might
think
imagine.
There was a vampire.
Unfortunately,
in
you
there.
can't tell us that until next turn.
Right. Okay.
All right. Yes. You have learned that.
Yep.
It's the end of the round. We're back to the top.
Yes. What does
Okay.
Abhoth do now?
He has to wait for
Right.
Pat to come back because Pat is now visible to me,
Right.
hanging from a rope.
Aha.
Pat might actually want to.
Well, Rick is visible.
Yeah.
to me,
Yes.
not Pat.
Rick might actually want to go first.
Which, having that stunt, he's got the option to do.
So
You
we're back
are
around
now
to the
We're
top.
back around to the top.
You do realize you just made an attack and are therefore no longer stealth.
And you
Yes.
are the only one who made an attack that would break stealth.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
What else do I see at the moment?
A depression
Where
hole
there was a
like
mound.
where there was a mound.
Okay.
But you are
You're
the only...
almost certain that you have not destroyed whatever the hell that is. There's just too much of it. You've probably damaged it very badly, and it's extremely
Unhappy.
extremely unhappy.
Extremely unhappy. But it can't do anything yet because it's
It's his turn.
It's its turn.
It's-
I go
we are-
first,
We're at the top of the
unless
round.
somebody else
And
goes
he goes first.
Like
Unless you spend a fate point to go first.
Unless you use a certain stunt and blow a fate point to make it
yes,
happen.
I know. But what do I do once I'm first?
Climb.
Climb.
Very fast.
I start climbing.
Okie dokie, make an athletics roll.
emphasis on make.
Can he,
Use a fake
can
point.
he tag the aspect that the rope has been steadied?
No.
Okay.
It's just there's no unsteady
no-
aspect to the rope.
Right.
Okay.
No penalties for people having done odd stuff on the rope and then there was an explosion.
Yeah, the fact that he
Yep.
he wasn't holding onto the rope in a normal way.
Yep.
He wasn't using his hands.
A man has to rely on himself. That makes it a superb athletics roll.
Okay, you climb that rope like a monkey.
With his tail
But
in
you'd
front.
already gone fairly far down,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't make it up to the hole.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Which may not be good enough.
We'll find out.
We're about to find out.
We are about to find out.
Okay. So I can see the rope. Well, I can sense the rope. I don't actually have physical eyes, but I don't need them. And I can sense you climbing up the rope.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to grab onto that rope and pull.
Mm-hmm. I should have handed you my dynamite.
He wanted two to impact at the same time.
Mm-hmm. He could have thrown them both.
From the same hand?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
together. The whole
Yeah, then you would all be stealth and I'd see a rope, but I would have no idea that the rope is important. It's just dangling there.
Right.
Now I see a rope and a guy climbing a rope.
Mm-hmm.
Mistakes were made.
So
This what's make things exciting.
I have grabbed the rope and
I wonder what your strength is.
It was more than enough last time.
yeah, it pulls on the rope with greater than fantastic. And so everybody is now falling.
Well, I know what I'm doing.
It's not the falling part that worries me so much.
Making an athletics roll to see how much
I
damage we
will I
take.
will claim that everybody is going to have a medium fall now. Even you, who moved up the rope 20 feet, everybody is going to have a medium fall now.
Everybody make
Base
that-
difficulty of great. And let's see now. How does that work? You get a moderate consequence if you fail, and a minor consequence if you succeed.
So, the question I'm going to have is that did it break at the piton? Did the piton pull out of the ground, or the rope break right at the piton? Is
The
it
rope broke at the piton.
okay? Then my action is going to be I'm going to teleport up there. And I'm going to grab the edge of the hole with one arm and grab the rope that's broken and sliding with the other hand.
Doable in theory if you can teleport.
Okay.
And of course,
you're.
You're three. He's
We'll
Yeah.
get to you. You're first. You're falling. That's what you know.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I was done with my action. I grabbed the rope and pulled on it.
And he went ahead.
Well, okay. I'm going to make whatever kind of athletics roll. I'm making an athletics roll for the fact that I'm falling.
All right.
Did you beat it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
My chances of not beating my target was great. If memory serves me correctly,
That's
Yeah.
what
Yes,
he just
yes.
said.
I would have had to roll a.
Yeah, so you end up with a minor consequence.
So I'm headed for a minor consequence. Yeah, I could roll a -3, and
Having spin isn't bad. Or having
Overflow.
exceeding-
Yeah.
Overflow.
and actually I have what I actually rolled was awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
So you have overflow.
So I have lots of overflow.
might be useful.
I'm going to be trying to hang on to the rope while still. Okay, what can I do to minimize my damage when I hit the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Just something else.
All right.
And I need to go back and check something. Yay! This adventure has been going on so long that I lost track of whether or not I've actually pulled anything out of the amulet.
Ah, and you haven't?
You have
And
not.
I haven't.
You have not. Oh, that's
Okay.
true.
The
Okay, that's
last
for
pull
you.
out of the amulet was just before we were going up to face, basically at the very end of the Father Russia was when I pulled the stuff out of the amulet,
Uh-huh.
and adventure completed that same round, that same night.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, why does it say minor consequence when it's a mild consequence? In the falling table, it says minor, but it's supposed to be mild.
Because they go.
Because their editors need work. They rolled a fair.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that was 2s.
Yep.
3s. You are doing your teleport back
Mm-hmm.
up.
Grab.
the edge of the
Fists.
hole, grab the
You're making a fists roll to grab that rope.
That would be.
As a supplement, with a supplemental for teleporting.
Teleport is a free action for
Okay.
that.
In that case, I got godlike.
Okie dokie. So that was your fists. You grabbed the rope successfully. There was no problem with that. Now it's a might roll. Because it's pulling and you're trying to prevent it from pulling it any further.
literally playing tug of war with a guy.
Don't know my own strength.
What's the tensile strength of the rope?
We will find out. I'm pretty
Okay.
freaking sure.
There is one thing going for us. I believe the god is inherently corrosive to the rope. So if the rope
Point.
breaks, the weakest point is probably right where he's
hanging
grabbed
on
it.
to it. We can hold. We can hold.
So that would be another godlike.
Okie dokie, that's enough. And you are correct. The rope does break, but it breaks where the god is holding on to it.
Yay!
So that was 3s.
5s.
There's no 4? Oh.
Well,
Yeah,
he
he took his
went
turn.
over.
He went-
took
he
his
took
turn
his turn,
first. 5s.
Uh,
So yes, the rope breaks up at the top
and then stops.
and then stops, and then what the thing is holding on to sort of breaks down at the bottom.
So the rope is now. You can feel that it's being
It's
pulled up.
the rope is violently moving right now. By the
Okay.
way,
It's not,
I
but you're not falling
understand
down.
But I'm not falling.
Mm-hmm. You don't see Jack anymore.
Which of these two is the worst at athletics?
Probably
my
him.
base is fair, and I have a
Probably
talent
him.
for
It is,
rolling
yes.
poorly on athletics.
Can
Yeah,
I
I'm good.
grab him as a supplemental as I go up the rope?
yes.
Okay. I will do that. And I am only worried about getting up the rope far enough to get to the shaft. But
Now, if you're
I would
gonna-
like to go further.
Now, if you're going to grab him, though, he has a weight factor too, and you have to do might. It's dead weight.
Fine.
It's dead weight. That means the weight factor is
So how
But-
does this work then? Is
All right,
it one roll for might and a separate roll for?
For athletics.
So athletics is to reach out and grab him,
Well,
kind of, right? Or,
no, I mean,
I doubt
you're
he's
not
resisting.
resisting, right?
Right, I am not resisting. If somebody
In fact,
else
you're
in our
probably,
party
if it looks like Annie is trying to
trying
grab you,
me
you'll
to
grab
help-
Annie.
Yes,
There's
I
no
will,
athletics
I will
roll
assist.
necessary
Oh,
for
Yeah,
that.
I'm not
Okay,
trying
then
to
So the
help.
athletics is to move up the rope.
okay.
And the might is to make sure that you can actually carry Edgy.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 points.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just figuring out which is most
Yeah.
effective.
Oh, and by the way, all of you realize
You're not-
that except for Jack, you're all visible.
Yeah.
None of you are stealthed anymore.
I-
Jack isn't anywhere near you. He's
Right.
way up there
Yeah.
or somewhere.
Hey,
Yeah.
I had
We'll-
to save
we'll-
the day somehow.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, I
If you're
think,
complaining, I'll just look over the rope.
Yeah, I could
No.
just-
Yeah, sure.
Hello. I will say yes. Send them to me. Yep, that's fine. Okay. Bye. Okay, so which is first, athletics or might? First.
I'll say might is first.
Okay.
Okay.
Brains over brawn to put him in basically a fireman's carry.
Yeah,
You'll accept that?
I will.
Okay.
What's
That
your
gives
target?
2, I think.
Well, you have a weight factor too.
So does that mean her target for this might roll is fair, or is it something higher than that?
I was hoping for fair. If it isn't, I have to re-roll.
It's under. It is.
Lifting things. Characters in the front line. Weight they can lift and still do something with that weight, like moving slowly or trying to place it carefully, shown on this page in count. If purely lifting without moving, like saying, they can roughly double it. For things like knockback, character can try to push themselves in the next character category, which I guess is on the might skill is the target difficulty. And it's
Sounds like the difficulty is higher than fair. I am... Because I am not trying to move slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So...
The page you want to study is 258.
258, yeah. Right roll against his own might skill as the target difficulty.
I.e. doesn't roll negative.
I rolled even.
That's not.
What is your might?
Mediocre.
This is acting that.
Is Edgy a small man?
Slender.
I believe that for
Not
most
short,
purposes
but
the answer to
skinny.
that is yes.
So about 150 pounds.
Plausible.
So as you said, it's a weight factor of 2. The might target, the might needed is mediocre.
Okay. So fair may be enough.
Well, fair, you see, would be able to do 250 pounds, and you have a weight factor of 3 instead of 2. But an average man would just
We're saying though that Edgy is a small man. He's like 150. He's not.
Yeah.
All right. I think fair is good enough. I think from what
Okay.
they're saying here, your target was to, As the target is successful, the dice don't come up with negative. He may perform a single might action at the next category up. Well, you don't really need to perform a might action at the next
Well, I'm
category up.
moving faster than
Yeah,
slow.
we'll say that yes, you can move. All right, grabbing Edgy is a supplemental action.
Yep.
So now you roll your athletics, and you get a -1, but it's a climbing action.
So I get a +2 because it's climbing.
Right.
It's a positive roll.
So that is so -1. So
+2.
yeah, that would be fantastic. And there's a limit to how much I can climb, anyways, isn't there?
Yeah, you're only going
2 zones.
2 zones, so 75 feet.
So
Which actually is enough to get you from where you were up to the top.
okay, I will accept that.
You don't get out of the hole.
No.
You get to
But
the top
I
of the
get
rope,
by
and
the
there's
heel.
Jack.
That's Jack pulling under the rope and holding the hole.
Uh-huh.
All right,
Which,
Edgy.
any of
Somebody
us-
has just grabbed you. You
Yeah.
grabbed them.
Yep.
It's Annie, and she's
Right.
climbed up the rope.
Yep.
So you're gonna fight her and stay behind. And
No.
Absolutely not.
All
I
right.
like
Flip
I
your-
like being up
Right,
near
right,
the
right.
ceiling right
All
now.
right. So
I
you
would
have an
like-
action to do. What are you doing?
Whatever feels like it will help Annie the most or hinder her the least.
You are almost out of that hole.
You
uh-huh.
could get out
You
of
could
the
climb
hole.
over Jack and get out of the hole, and then Annie wouldn't have to be carrying you anymore.
Fair enough. I will try. I will try.
Well,
and do
okay, roll better than mediocre.
that. In other
On
words,
athletics?
On athletics,
better
yeah.
than a -2. Hopefully, I can do that.
That's a minus
Minus
2.
But this is better than a -2 after he spares a point.
Trouble likes me.
All right.
That's it. You're out.
Yeah.
All right. You climb over Jack and out of the hole.
Sloppily alive.
Yes,
Sorry.
with no grace whatsoever.
Yeah.
Steps on my
Ouch.
fingers, farts in my face.
we go back to the top of the round.
Yes, we do.
You spending another fate point to go
You
first?
bet your ass. When all else fails, listen to your gut. I am climbing.
All right. So how far did
don't
you get the last time? 2 zones?
Yes.
2 zones got you not out of the hole, but up to where under Jack.
Okay.
So you just need to not roll mediocre or worse on your athletics.
I did not roll mediocre or worse. I am out of that hole.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's see now.
You have 1 target.
I don't
Yes.
see you
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You two have climbed out of the hole. You're just below Jack, so way up there,
And I'm
way
Not right down
down
at the bottom.
at the bottom.
Gee.
I'm the target.
Yes, you are.
Okie dokie.
So a pseudopod is coming out and trying to grab me.
Grab. You're the only thing we're gonna grab.
You
The
were the
moment she did what she did,
Yeah.
I went, okay, Simon's the target.
You were best able to handle it yourself.
See, before Annie crawled up, that she put a big target on him. Tape it
Right
on.
next
So,
to the kick me sign, right?
No, actually, I have no target.
So I'm
You know,
trying to
bullseye.
figure out
Yeah.
how to dodge.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I am currently at there. That is a +1. I'm unlikely to get much better than a +1. Yeah, I'm not going to get any better on a reroll. I'm going to spend the fate point. I have weird luck for a roll of godlike to dodge.
Wow.
Just good enough.
Just exactly what you needed.
Yay!
Oh, that was close. Wow.
That's much better than having missed. What
I
needed.
rolled even and my base was godlike. So there you go.
Yay.
I made my attack. Wow. Well, it's a good thing you have very high athletics at the moment.
Okay.
And more fate points than some of us.
Well, yeah, but that is a great climbing roll as it sits.
See, you're only going to be able to climb 2 zones, which gets you up to just below Jack.
Okay,
So,
but
with great, that happened.
That was good enough.
That was
That
good
was
enough.
good. That was the question was,
Yes,
can
that's,
I get
that's,
any
no,
better?
you can't get any better than that. Not unless you have some
All
unusual
you
method
get is
of
overflow.
motion, like a
Yeah.
rocket or something.
Not currently. Yeah, not currently.
All right, so you dodge wildly and then zip up the line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jack is going to use athletics to move from dangling in the hole to being slipping out of the hole, pulling the rope up with him.
All right.
which will hopefully.
It's
pull up-
another might roll, by the way. But okay.
Okay, well, it's another might roll.
To do the rope thing. To
On-
get up
on
out of the
sparring.
hole is athletics.
sparring.
Okay, athletics for the might or the athletic?
No, that was a might.
That was the might. All right. On-spiring is good enough.
And then athletics is epic.
That's good enough for that as well. So yes, you're up out of the hole, holding onto the rope.
And presumably reeling it in
Mhm.
quickly.
He doesn't have enough action.
Doesn't have enough actions
Okay,
to do that.
He's just up out of the hole and still hanging onto the
But you
rope.
just moved another 6 feet.
Yes. And Annie as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
She and Simon were basically holding onto the rope right below you.
Where is Rick again?
Rick
I
climbed up
also
out.
climbed
He had
past.
he had
Got out
climbed
right
earlier and
behind
then climbed again. So
Okay.
So I moved it 6 feet. I probably pulled Annie out into the hole, out to the top. She was right below me, and I moved 6 feet out.
no, they were sort of near your feet
Oh.
actually. They were
Okay.
just below you.
Okay.
So you were like this, but then
Mhm.
below. So you,
Mhm.
yeah. So they are at the edge of the hole. I mean, they
Yep.
both have.
Very simple.
Yeah,
athletics.
it's like roll average on your athletics, and you're out of the hole. So that was threes. You went first again.
Yep.
Fives.
Athletics to get out of the hole. So that'd be a epic.
Quickly and gracefully.
Yes, you make it easily out of the hole.
She goes, whoop,
and you're
and she's outside
standing.
the hole.
You're standing outside the hole.
It's much easier not carrying someone.
Thanks, by the way.
You're welcome. Someday you'll have a chance to do something similar for me, I'm sure.
Oh, carrying
You want
somebody.
to try an
You should
off
see what
chance?
it's like trying to carry somebody
You
when
wanna try
someone
an
sets
off
up a
chance?
grenade inside of a room
If you
where
think
the
it's
door's
worth
shut.
trying, I'll try it.
All right.
Pull the rope enough to get me out of the hole?
Sure.
You using your super might with a weight
I
factor
could
2?
roll well.
With a weight factor 2, or is it more?
Simon is another slim and slender.
Well,
That might. Oh,
Nah.
that's even. Sorry,
That's
never mind.
even. No, I
All right. So you try to pull up the rope a bit more, and you fail.
did not.
All right. So we are back around
to the top.
to the
To
top.
the top.
So there's only one target.
He's not quite as within easy reach as he used to be.
Rick,
Okay,
wanna pull
so-
the rope up the rest of the way?
Scott is unclear.
Yes.
There is some distance between
The top of the dome.
between the
The ceiling of the dome and the floor of the
yes.
corridor.
How much distance is that?
So you want to know how thick the hole is,
Yes.
basically. It is about 3 feet.
Okay, so I'm hanging down below that hole.
Just
Just barely.
barely.
Okay. That was what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
So is this thing making a big, long tentacle going up towards them?
There's
probably enough goop to do it, but it might take a while to get there.
So the hole is closing. Not rapidly. It's sort of shrinking. It was a great big hole before, but as you're
Now
looking
it's a
up, you
hole.
see, oh my God, it's closing above me.
I'm making an athletics roll to try and get through it before it closes.
Okie dokie.
That would be. How paranoid am I feeling? Technically, it's I need to move about a zone. If memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, I mean, you just,
It might be a supplemental to squeeze, or it might be an
It's
aid.
it's not
to-
that small yet.
Not that small.
Okay.
So
Then it should
I just
almost
rolled
be an
epic.
aid to
That's
Oh,
enough.
there's
That's
yeah.
enough.
Yeah, that's way more than you need. Once, yeah, you
Come
get
on,
through that
gracefully.
hole and do so gracefully, and whoop, you're there.
Is it just me, guys, or is this hole getting smaller?
It's getting smaller.
It's
Okay.
getting smaller.
I'm grabbing. I only use one stick of dynamite.
That's right. You have only
So I'm
used one
taking
stick.
my 5 sticks that are left and bundling them together,
Okay.
and I'm going to set a fuse. No, I'm going to.
Oh,
shoot.
wait, that was, yeah, you're okay.
Yes.
Four.
Fours.
Yeah, I knew there was something. Wait a minute. You're 3s though, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're doing your dynamite.
Yeah, after he went out.
Right. I was just thinking.
He didn't supplement the order this time. He didn't go first by spending a big one.
You did not go first. This
You're
round.
already
this
out
round.
of the hole, standing up.
All I did was start to make the hole get smaller.
Right.
Now, all right. Yes, you're bundling your dynamite. This takes time.
Well, close at hand, I pull 5 sticks out.
Yes, but to
But,
bundle it, that's
yes.
going to take your round.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
it is.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I'm holding.
You're holding your actions. 5s.
No, actually,
Okay, you're unholding your
I'm
actions
unhold-
before
oh.
5.
yeah. Oh, you've got your own firearm.
Yeah.
You don't need my Nagant.
No.
I'm holding.
Holding then. 5s.
How rapidly is it closing?
He said pretty slow.
I mean, it started out like this. By the time Simon got through, it was like that. So it's like,
So it may be closed before Jack can.
its next action is probably going to close it, yes.
I don't think I have a lighter.
You have a fate point, you know, lighter.
Yes, you can spend a fate point to have a lighter, even if it's not on your sheet.
You could say something.
And if it's very brief, like a couple of words, then it counts as a free action.
My kingdom for a lighter.
You need a lighter.
Need a lighter.
I have an action. I hand you my lighter.
Which you were just recently using, so it's even in your hand.
Grab the dynamite from Jack, light, and release.
Are you allowing
Yes.
Annie to grab the
Yes.
dynamite?
Are you
because I-
dropping it with the hand with the arcane
Yes.
ring?
If you want
Yes.
some sort of,
You may.
I put
you
it
may
on
not
the
need
dominant
it.
hand.
All right, that's fine.
I did put it on the dominant hand.
Okay, so you light it, you drop it.
And a half.
It takes about the remainder of the round and a little bit into the next round before it, because you're late in the round. All right, so 5s, you can flip that.
AG plug his ears.
No, I will spend my turn saying, by the way, there were human bone fragments and such where the mound was. Scratch the last vampire.
All right, that's an
That's
action.
that's your action.
We
I'm
flip
back
it
around
and
to
we're
the
back
top.
around to the top. Okay. The whole
No,
seals.
seals.
Unless you're going first.
I have no need to go first.
All right.
Yes, you do.
I do.
You can use close at hand, pull out your gun, and shoot the dynamite just to make sure. Before the hole closes.
Okay, at this point that probably works.
Yeah, if he uses
Okay.
a fate
If you
point.
go first,
If
yeah.
you go
If
first.
I go first. I'm
All
going
right.
to go first.
He's got the fate point.
No, I was thinking of it from a slightly different point of view. At this point, it is an arcane explosive.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
There
firing
was-
with the gun with the arcane ring. Firing with the, arcane.
yeah, the gun is in that hand.
How far can you fire that gun accurately?
It's a handgun, 2 zones.
Shit.
That's not far enough. It's
No, it's
100 feet down.
Oh,
It's a
well.
3-zone shot. So unless you've got the
I've got the Nagant.
no.
No.
Well, you've got a rifle. Is
I've
what
got
you're
a
saying.
rifle.
Rifles.
Don't fire with a handgun then. Use
Right.
your rifle.
Use the rifle. So I'll use the
A
rifle.
light rifle would be 3 zones. A heavy rifle would be 4.
And 3 is
It's a sniper rifle with a scope.
It'd be 4.
That's a 4-zone rifle,
So
which
it's
is
gonna hit.
is
With
easily
close at
enough.
hand,
Yes.
yes.
And you have a
And-
lit fuse to aim for.
Nobody does it better.
All right, I have
So-
set a difficulty.
And
That's not
that's not gonna work.
Roll.
I'm gonna re-roll this one, yes. You made the mess, you clean it up.
Reroll.
He's got
ventured,
lots and lots of
nothing
different-
ventured, nothing gained. That's even worse.
Wow.
Die already.
Ah. A man's got to rely on himself.
Just not his dice.
Not his dice.
Back to -1.
No, that was
That
minus
was
two.
minus two.
Two. He's getting worse.
This isn't that hard of a shot. Come on. It's not like you're
You have
trying
to
to
live up
shoot
to your
a
word.
penny, 100 feet away. It's a
There we go.
Oh, he took 4 feet points, right?
Okay,
I
so
think that's
what is
awe-inspiring.
okay?
That's
Oh, with the scope, that's godlike.
What fate point to use for the last one?
Oh,
what aspect you mean?
Oh, what aspect?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh shoot.
A man's got to rely on
A
himself.
man's got to rely on himself.
Okay. You shoot the bundle of dynamite. It
It's your-
explodes.
You're using a long arm, so you're using both hands.
It's not only arcane, it's blessed.
Blast the bullet.
Yeah, the bullet is arcane and
Fine.
He waits right to where it hits the goop, and then the bullet hits it.
There's an enormous explosion, and then the hole closes.
or the hole. There's an
Really,
enormous
Val?
explosion while the hole.
See, this is what I call the parting shot.
And I'm going to call it for the night. We're
Yeah.
beyond our normal, even. So.
Yes.
However, we are now out of combat, I assume.
You are out of combat now. Yes.
So I don't have to keep track of who has what numbers.
No.
There's an interesting question to be.
I don't think we killed the god.
I doubt it.
I don't think we. No, we did not kill God. The question is, we didn't even kill the local extension of the god.
Is this the bag for the white dice?
Yes.
Well, we didn't close off the other altars either.
Yeah.
So all of them still allow for
But what we can do,
happening.
what we can do is go back, quote, a ways, unquote. There's some more. Okay, big points.
16.
28. 29, excuse me.
Oh, you only went through 10. Jack?
18.
What was it? 5 of them in the last action?
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably.
Okay. 12. Edgy?
7. No, sorry, 8. I think I only did. I have 9 before.
Yes, you have
I
9
only
before.
worked 1. Because I'm saving them for something big at this point.
I think that was pretty big
Yes.
myself,
But
but
I'd like to hear the words, you have a reset. I don't think we're going to hear that.
No, not until we
Yeah.
not get you know.
Yeah, until we give up on ill for this go round.
well, it isn't giving up on him. It is saying time to
This
move
plan
on.
isn't working.
Yes, it's
Next
giving up